Yeah. Whoa. I speak. We change lives, Jesus. I speak.
Welcome to the TP Masterclass. On behalf of Cliff Cheqona and the entire TP family, we're honored to have you here. You didn't just join a live session. You stepped into a transformational experience designed to help you master your mind, align your emotions, and trade with clarity and conviction. We'll be starting shortly. In the meantime, settle in and prepare your notepad. Like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. And most importantly, invite someone who needs this. Because around here, we don't just trade, we transform. Let's get started soon.
I speak life, I speak spirit, we change lives, Jesus did it. I speak life, I speak spirit, we change lives, Jesus did it. Step into my Monday, I'm stepping to my Monday, I'm stepping to my Monday. We change lives, Jesus did it. I'm stepping to my Monday, I'm stepping to my Monday, I'm stepping to my Monday. We change lives, Jesus did it.
What is the TP family, and how do you become part of it? Don't worry, if you're watching this, you're already part of the TP family. Now, before you ask, no, it's not take profit. That's the first thing traders think, right? TP stands for trading psychology. When Cliff Cheqona created this community, he didn't want to make it all about himself. He wanted to create a space for traders built around a simple truth. Most traders lose because their mindset isn't ready for success. So what's the TP family? It's not a company. It's not an organization. It's a movement of traders who are done chasing shortcuts, done trading emotionally, and done feeling like they're alone in this journey. Now, let me be clear. We're not here to build another Telegram or Discord group. You don't need more chats or endless notifications. All you have to do is follow our content on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. That's where we deliver everything. Masterclasses, podcast clips, mindset tips, and even those hard truths no one else will tell you about trading. Our vision for 2025 is simple: education. We teach traders what really matters, not just strategies, but the mindset behind them. Through our TP Masterclass, podcasts, and content, we make sure traders know how to manage themselves first. Community. The TP family is all about connection, but instead of chat rooms, we meet through meaningful content that actually helps you grow. Tools. We're creating journals, simulations, and practical resources to help you track your progress and improve your trading behavior. The TP family is here to change the way traders think forever. We're not about quick wins. We're about creating strong, resilient, unstoppable traders. Welcome to the movement. Let's make 2025 the year you fix your mind and fix your trading.
It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading. It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading.
Hello, TP family. Good evening. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's weekend today? How was your week? You can let me know in the comment section. And hello, everyone who's tuning in on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome to another TP Masterclass. I hope you are doing very, very, very good this evening and your week wasn't as stressful. Or yeah, hopefully it wasn't stressful for you. But how's everyone doing? And hi Frederick. I hope you are doing quite well. We have Prince who's tuning in from Nigeria. Hello, Prince. But anyway, I just want to start off by showing some love to everyone who continuously join us every single Saturday, 6 p.m. UK time. Even with the time changing, you guys still show up. And I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for always showing up, for always staying consistent with us as we also always show up. But if you're tuning in from Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, UK, US, you guys are welcome. Just let me know in the comment section of where you are tuning in from. And if you are watching the replay, just put replay in the comment so that when we are checking the comments, we will know that you have tuned into the replay of this live TP Masterclass. And if this is your first time joining the TP Masterclass, I just want to say a big welcome to you. Just drop a first time in the comment, the live chat below. Just drop a comment in the live chat below, and so that I'll be able to welcome you properly, because this is not just a class, we are a TP family, and we are glad that you found us here on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. And because you are new here, you are probably wondering where you can start from our YouTube channel. I want you to go on our YouTube channel and I want you to click into the playlist session and then click into TP Masterclass. The TP Masterclass will have a playlist called Season 1 TP Masterclass. While you are there, you will see a video titled What is Really Trading Psychology, as that episode will really help you understand why we are doing this and what this community really is about. Because we don't just talk about charts, we deal with the mindset behind trades or the mindset behind the traders. We have someone tuning in for the first time from India. Hello, you don't have an actual name on your profile, so I don't know what to call you, but welcome to the TP Masterclass. But anyways, as I was saying, this is where you'll be able to find the video, What is Really Trading Psychology. Another thing that we usually do from Monday to Friday is we post what we call the TP Declaration. We moved it to the website, the cheqona.com website, where we post every single day. So if you have not been finding them on the YouTube community tab, just make sure to make your way to the cheqona.com website so that you'll be able to continue to declare the TP declaration to yourself from Monday to Friday. When you are there, make sure that to read it out loud, speak it over your day, and let it enter your system. Okay? As it will really help you align yourself with the market and align yourself with your mindset. And another thing that we take very serious here is you have to make sure that you are giving us your full attention. Remove every distraction away from you. Make sure to grab your notebook and your journal, as this moment is for you. I don't want you guys to just watch us. I want you to participate and take notes and learn something. You never know, you could receive your light bulb moment, or you can have your aha moment. You never know. So make sure that you are participating with everything that we do. And yeah, make sure that you are participating with everything that we do here. Another quick reminder that we have continuously always let everyone know is we really built this space for healing, clarity, and truth. And if anyone in the comments is trolling or spamming or distracting others, we will quietly remove you from our live stream. It's not anything personal. It's just about protecting the mindset of other people and also protecting the atmosphere that we have built here so far. So make sure to respect us and respect this space and honor the process that we have laid out for the past few weeks, months since we started the TP Masterclass streaming. So without any further talking, I will pass over this to the next segment, and I really hope you guys take something from today's TP Masterclass. Thank you and stay tuned for more.
It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading. It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading. It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are tuning in from. Welcome to today's TP Masterclass. I'm really happy to be with you guys. Really excited to go through what I have to share with you this evening, this afternoon, this morning, depending on where you're tuning in from. And also, a massive welcome to everybody who's tuning in around the world. I know, especially, we get a lot of new followers, a lot of new people tuning in for the first time. So just wanted to give everybody a warm welcome once again. We do this every single week. And what we basically share with you is it's more than just sitting here with your pen and your paper, but these are moments of transformation. These are things that we've been able to learn, experiences that we've been able to go through, and teachings that we've been able to basically take impression on and really action them in our lives as much as what we are doing together, which is growing together. All right. So that's the most important thing I wanted to remind every single person. And absolutely, one of the major things that I always say every single week is that through doing this TP Masterclass, I myself have learned, I'm growing myself on a weekly, on a daily basis. And that's one of the things that is very exciting for me, because I'm not just sharing something that I just learned, but these are life experiences that you guys can take a note of and really implement it into your lives and see a massive transformation. All right. So one more time, my name is Willis Arome. Welcome to the TP Masterclass. And we are going to be going through what we call the habit segment of our masterclass today. All right. You guys can clearly, very clearly see our title for today. It's Conditioning the Mind. All right. Conditioning the mind. It's important to make sure you understand that when we are doing anything, we want to become successful at anything, there are certain conditions that you have to match, that you have to follow in order to get or obtain the type of results that you are after. Does that make sense? So somebody who is desiring to become a professional football player, right? You can go to the football pitch all you want and train by yourself and try and do a few kick-ups and a few skills. And maybe your parents might come and encourage you. And maybe a few friends and family say, oh, my boy is very good. My boy or my girl is very talented at football. But the reality is there are certain conditions that you must subscribe to in order to become successful, to get to the big stage. All right. The same thing would apply if you are studying for exams. Like, you can go away and take away the notes that you had from your classroom, but not know how to properly study for the topics that you are trying to achieve, for whatever grade that you're trying to achieve, whatever subject it is. There are certain conditions, there's certain criteria, there are certain types of research that you must do in order to see if you can get the results that you are after. The same thing applies for trading. There are conditions that if you want to make money consistently, if you want to be successful at trading, if you want to see results, if you want to see a change, and it's a lot more than money, there are certain conditions that you have to subscribe to. So that's basically what I'm going to be discussing today, conditioning the mind. All right. Before we continue, I want to explain, in fact, what is a cue. Now, there's going to be slightly two definitions here. All right. But for the most part, when we hear the word cue, C-U-E, all right, cue, the term cue often refers to, in fact, I'm just going to read the definition out for you as we are here right now. A psychological cue is an external stimulus or environment that is strongly associated with a specific behavior or a thought. All right. A psychological cue is an external stimulus or environment that is strongly associated with a specific behavior or a thought. Now, how does that differ from the type of cue that we might even be familiar with? When we think about acting, or in the acting world, for those of you who are quite talented in acting, when you hear the term cue, it might even not necessarily be in acting. It could even be a presentation. But you have a cue to say something, or a cue for another person to continue speaking. When people have their scripts, somebody says 5 lines, and after the 5th line, they know that it's time for them to jump into their segment of their script. All right. It's a similar scenario here, but this is more from a psychological perspective. There are influences that basically cause some sort of reaction based on the type of things that it's going to show in your mind, in your heart, in your habits, in everything in life, specifically with to do with trading, or even to do with whatever sort of activity that you're participating in that time. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. But here's one thing that I want to say before we continue. Okay, the most important thing I want to mention here, because of course this is concerning trading for the most part, but bear in mind, I always say this every single week, right? That a lot of these principles are things that we can implement in our lives for anything. It does not need to be limited to just trading. No, it can be for anything, right? And if you guys have been paying very, very close attention, for those of you who have been tuning in every single week, you guys already know that your life mirrors your trading. Okay, so anything in your life that is lacking, or anything in your life that seems that there's a level of inconsistency, all right, eventually, somehow, some way, shape, or form, you're going to see the fruits of it in your trading. If you suffer with impatience, all right, and it's something like, I don't know, you're waiting for the bus, or you're waiting for your cab, your taxi, right, and you're very impatient. The taxi says, oh, it's coming in 3 minutes, and then it extends, it says, oh, coming in 5 minutes, maybe because the taxi driver went another route and decided to come to you via the long way, right? And you get really annoyed and you start swearing because of that. Okay, maybe you suffer with impatience in that particular area, but eventually that sort of agitation might show up in your trading as well. All right, so that's one reminder I wanted to remind every single person. So here's something that I wanted to remember. I want you to remember that in terms of trading, there is no such thing as the perfect trader, in the way that you think anyway, at least. So when we say there's no such thing as the perfect trader, we are basically talking about the trader who probably has never really experienced losses ever, right? Or maybe you go online, you go to your favorite YouTube podcast or your YouTube video, and you have this trader saying that he's never had a stop loss. Or maybe he says, I haven't lost in trading in the last 5 years. But you don't know that probably he's a long-term position holder in terms of trading. He places a trade and holds it for 6 months. He doesn't tell you about the drawdowns. He doesn't tell you that maybe he's in minus 50K for 3 months before it goes to 150K as a take profit, right? My point is, there's no such thing as the perfect trader. Somehow, at some point in their trading career, they've had to have gone through some level of hardship in order to get to where they are today. Okay, so there is no such thing as the perfect trader. There is no such thing, right? The most important part is this, is that experience in life is developed through scars and life experiences, or life lessons. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of this. When I was a lot younger, I think maybe about 7 or 10 years old, thereabout, I remember I had a can. I was drinking a 7-Up, and that was one of my favorite drinks growing up. Something you didn't know about myself. I loved 7-Up, right? So anyway, I was drinking the 7-Up, and then I started playing with the can, and then I remember putting my finger through the hole of the can, and then as I took my finger out, my flesh stayed inside. It's not funny. It's quite gruesome, but yeah, a part of my skin stayed inside the can, and then my finger began to bleed. It felt very warm, but very weird at the same time. All right. Now, I still have that scar till today. I'm 31 years old. I still have that scar on my index finger on my right hand. Right. And why do I say this? Now I know that when I have a can, when I'm drinking a can, well, in this context, the drink that I had was specifically used for a specific purpose. Once it has been done, you throw it in the bin, right? It doesn't now mean that I grew up and then I'm mature and then I start to play with cans my entire life. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is this, is that from very early, I already knew from a young age, I wasn't confused about what a can is supposed to be for in that context. For a drink, once you finish, you bin it, and that's it. It's as simple as that. That scar taught me a big lesson that day, that, you know, there's a purpose for everything. Okay, my small understanding, I already knew that you don't mess around with cans. It's very dangerous. It might look like a very thin layer of metal, but that is enough to cause harm. If it can cut my finger, imagine what else it can cut, right? If it's used in the wrong terms or the wrong context. Okay, so my point is, sometimes scars will enable you to take these lessons and learn a lot more than somebody telling you, you should do this, you should do that, you should make sure you do this, you should have a trading plan, you shouldn't have this inside your trading plan, you should make sure that you're getting up every single day at the same time because it builds your habit, right? Eventually you're going to get to a point where you listen to these things, it doesn't register in your mind, and then eventually you're like, okay, you know what, enough is enough. I'm speaking sometimes about myself. I was the type of person that I said, look, all I need is a strategy. All I needed is that strategy. That's all I need. I don't care about all of the psychology stuff because I can do that. I can prove that I can do that. But it showed how negative my mindset was. And then eventually I said, you know what? If more and more successful traders are saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, it means I'm the loser. I'm the one who's missing something. Right? They have probably had to have gone through a long season of losses, scars, life experiences, losing a lot of money to know that, okay, this thing, I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to do it properly, and I'm going to make sure that this is the standard for me to continue winning at whatever it is that I am doing. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Right. So the last thing I wanted to say on this particular part is that people will pay more attention when they have seasonal scars. They're going to pay more attention, all right? More than the person that's being told that they should do this and that. It doesn't mean that we cannot learn from other people's experiences well enough, but I think we've probably heard it often, especially within the trading space. When you get through a season of losses, when you lose money, the reality of trading will hit a lot deeper than somebody who's never really entertained playing with hundreds or thousands of pounds or dollars in their trading account. All right. So back to our point, we're talking here about cues, but it's going to go into a little bit more depth as we continue. I think I shared something here a bit too early, but let's actually open up the chat really quickly, because what I want to do is understand from your perspective a lot of the emotional triggers or responses that are really connected to a lot of retail traders. All right. So over here, we have price movements becoming emotional triggers. You know, there's a lot of things, but in fact, let me not do that. What I want to ask every single person in the chat today is, in terms of welcome. I haven't actually seen the chat, but I want you guys to drop in the chat really quickly. What are some habits based on, I'm going to give you a few random things, but feel free to drop some comments in the chat. What are a few things that can be caused by price movement going up? You can see two massive candles on your MT5, right? On Bitcoin or maybe on gold, for example, right? What are some reactions? If you have not been in the trade, you can see that it's gone from 92,000 to 93,000 on the price chart. What are some behaviors or reactions do you think that if you've missed out on that particular trade, what do you think? How do you think you will respond? Or on the negative side, what's the most common thing that you have seen how people respond, including yourself? Let me see in the chat really quickly. So just to kind of clarify what I'm saying, what are some most common things that if you've missed a major price movement, what would be your reaction for the most part? And be very honest as well. You can be very honest. Is it the fact that, oh, you know what, I have FOMO? Or the fact that you're very rational with your decisions? Is it the fact that I now have fear in general? I have fear because I know I'm not going to make it in trading. Like, it can be very extreme. It can be very little. It could be, you know what, this is the time I'm going to double up on my trading. I didn't get it at the bottom, but I'm going to double up at this level. So eventually it can continue going up. Let me know in the chat, right? I see here in the chat, it says, cheese the trend. I'm guessing you mean chase the trend. Okay. What else? Let me know in the chat. I just want a few comments just to see where everybody is at in terms of. Okay, so far we have chasing the trend. I used to jump in immediately and feel very bad, but I have stopped now. Okay, so you don't even do any analysis, or you didn't do any analysis, but you jumped into the trade. That's another thing. Okay, and what else? Let me know in the chat. That's a very big one. In fact, you just feel as though, you know what, I've missed out on a big increase. Hopefully it should continue. All right. You have a lot of expectation for this asset to move. You don't know the reason why it should move, but you feel like it should continue moving from there. I cannot miss out on another moment to, jump into this trade. Okay. I've stopped chasing. Okay, that's incredible. You stopped chasing. Feeling agitated to enter, trying every effort to enter. That's a very interesting one. Why? Because does that mean that you feel agitated to try and enter, but do you eventually enter into the trade, or do you still stop yourself from entering? So that's a question for Giam Frederic. If I've said that incorrectly, I do apologize. I may wait for the next setup. That's great. I learned a lot here, and I don't chase after it goes. Okay, great. Perfect. So we do have a different variety of responses. No worries. So let's actually talk about it. Let's talk about it. So here are some certain conditions or conditioned responses that influence a retail trader's behavior. One of the first ones is price movement. All right. So I gave you already the first example, which was you see a price chart might be going up, or maybe you're expecting that there's some certain price drop in a certain asset, or maybe across the board of lots of USD pairs, and you can see there's a massive drop. You're anticipating a massive drop, right? This can also be an emotional trigger, right? This can allow somebody to want to jump in before they even do the analysis, or maybe they feel as though it's too late to analyze. The move is happening right now. What do I do? You panic, all right? And then you have winning, which reinforces risky behavior. Have you ever been that type of individual that is like, oh, you know what? I've won my last 6 or 7 trades. Certainly, if I do this trade in the right way, I should win my 7th trade, right? And then eventually, that's obviously not the case. Or is it the fact that you have losses? It creates some sort of avoidance patterns. I'm going to put my hands up very clearly because I am very, very, very guilty of that, right? I used to tell myself, because I independently was able to trade indices a lot better than I did gold, I said, you know what? Gold is just not for me. It isn't for me, right? I've tried to trade gold consistently and it isn't for me, right? It doesn't mean that I can't trade gold, but it just means maybe my behavior, maybe because of certain losses or traumas in the past, I just don't go anywhere near XAU USD. Or maybe news alerts, right? You have alerts from TradingView. You have alerts from these different brokers that you might have. Or here's an interesting one. Here's one that really, really got me the most, and I had to overcome it and realize what was going on. You join a prop firm, right? And then the prop firm tells you that there's a massive discount, right? So let's just say, for instance, you are unfortunately the type of person to buy a prop firm, maybe fail 2 challenges, and then all of a sudden you get a notification that it's Black Friday. And because it's Black Friday, it's 25% off. It's 30% off of your prop firm. So you know what? I knew that I was very close. I'm going to take that opportunity to buy another prop firm because I've lost my previous 2. So I'm going to buy another prop firm whilst this discount is still available, right? You get the urge to buy, and you're not actually realizing that this is a pattern that still happens when you're clicking buy and sell within the markets. It's still a psychological pattern that will occur inside your trading that happens when you're buying things in general, right? But you get lost in a lot of notifications. Here's another thing that I think we must have spoken about a very long time ago: candlestick patterns or colors. Oftentimes, if you're not really experienced, you'll see your candlesticks are going to be red when the price is going down, or green when the price is going up, right? What does that do to your mind psychologically? When you see the color red, you sometimes associate it with something very negative or a loss. When you see green, for the most part, some people might just associate it with something very positive. Some people, because of the colors, they switch their candlesticks to one color, gray, or they switch their background to white and they just have black or whatever color that they desire to have. Just like myself, I don't know, for whatever reason, I've decided to change my candlesticks for the buys are always in yellow, and then the black ones is the sell candles for some reason. And I just find it a lot better. I don't really tend to have any psychological issues with that. But these are all things that can cause negative responses or any type of response when it comes to the behaviors or the responses that you would have as a retail trader. These are all things that you could very easily be influenced by when it comes to these things. All right. So I know we've shared in the chat. Let me just go back to the chat to see if there's anything else. I can see I have learned a lot here. I don't chase. Thinking of all the profits I would have made if I was still in that trade. I study the market very well, but entry is a problem. If I enter, coming out too is a problem. So you're kind of in two minds. You're divided. You don't even know if it's the right moment to stay or to exit. All right. So these are all things which are emotional triggers, but we're about to get into a little bit deeper here, right? Because we're talking about cues. We mentioned about cues. We're also talking about responses that cause you to do certain things. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. All right. So let's just say, for instance, right, that you are triggered immediately by price movements. You know that there's a price movement. You don't want to miss out. You have FOMO, right? It causes you to want to react to a certain trade. So now, even if you're away from your desk or you're away from your setup when it comes to trading, you have your phone, you can see that the market is going up, but you don't actually pay attention to how you feel in the moment when you're actually pressing the trade button. All right. So let's just say, for instance, you feel a sense of fear, but now you don't have the trading platforms. You're not really you're not at your front desk to trade, but you're out and about and you see the price move aggressively up. And then you have that moment of fear, but you don't notice it. In your mind, you're like, oh, you know what? I should have gone into the trade. But actually, you haven't paused to think about, I'm associating this with fear, right? Or what about when you are winning consistently, right? You're winning consistently, but you don't pause to think, you know what? Trading is all about the mind. I can win consistently, but I have to stick to my plan. I have to stick to my strategy, regardless of if it's a win or it's a loss. I have to see it as though tomorrow, today, the next session is just basically not promised. Okay. Over trading is another one, right? But what about if you begin to have extreme or excess leverage? Okay. Here's another one. When you have losses, it creates an avoidance pattern. I think I've mentioned that already. You have a negative idea when it comes to certain Forex or trading pairs in general. Or let's just say you try to ride a bike one day when you were about 15 years old. You never ridden a bike before and your friends were riding. And then because people laughed at you at the time, you've associated yourself with laughter when you're trying to ride a bike. So now when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you're trying to ride a bike, but you want to ride the bike maybe in the gym or something, or where there's probably not a lot of people, maybe late at night or something, because you don't want the idea that if you fall, people are going to laugh at you. Hopefully that makes sense. So these are behaviors or things that can be very easily triggering when you're in certain environments. There's something that is not here on the slides, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Conditioning drives herd mentality. If you're ever a part of a trading community, right? We are a part of a trading community, but let's just say from a perspective of copying and pasting, taking signals. You see a lot of people are posting, I made $5, I made $100, I made $1,000, I was able to withdraw today, right? For you, you're like, okay, the next 7 trades, I'm going to make sure I use a 0.05 lot size, because I saw one person, they grew their account from $50 to $500 in the space of a week. So surely if they can do it, I can do it too, right? You say the same thing. And then eventually you try to do it and you go for a bit of a drawdown phase, because past profits do not determine future results, right? But then you don't have the same growth as the person that you saw on the community, but it still drives you to want to copy and paste without having a successful plan for your trading, or at least a guide or a mentor to advise you on what you should be doing step by step. These are some of the things that can cause you, if your mind is not properly conditioned in the way for you to achieve the type of success that you're after. All right. But the last thing I want to leave you with is this. It's the classical conditioning theory, by Ivan Pavlov. It's quite interesting, this. He done a study where he had an experiment. In fact, the experiment was to basically look at the similarities between, I think it was something to do with a biology type of experiment, the similarities between animals and humans in terms of their responses for things. So in this experiment, what he simply did is he was feeding the dog, and as he was feeding the dog, he noticed that there was saliva that was already building up in the dog's mouth, or inside the mouth, and so on. There was already saliva building up the moment that there was food. Perfect. Now the next phase was that he was going to give the dog some food, but before he gave the dog some food, he rang the bell. So it triggered some sort of response to say, okay, the bell is associated with food. When I hear that bell, it's time to eat. So you can see that the saliva began to produce from his mouth, and lo and behold, there was food for the dog. Then then Ivan continued doing so each time he had the bell, until eventually he just rang the bell, but there was no food to give the dog. And you could see that the saliva began to build up automatically before he even saw the food. So he already immediately had some sort of triggered response or a cue to know that it's time to eat. And the same thing can happen with us when it comes to trading, right? The good thing about it is that we can recondition our minds. The same way that we say when you make declarations, say it, speak it, because eventually your mind will convince itself of that thing that you probably don't believe right now. So when you're saying, I am great, you probably don't feel great. That's the reality. You probably wake up and feel like, I feel so heavy today. I feel so burdened today. I feel like I shouldn't be trading. I've been doing this for so long and I haven't seen a lot of success with my trading accounts or with my trading path. I said that I was supposed to help my mom and my dad to do this, to help with these sort of finances, but it just has not been the case. It's been really difficult and very, very, very tough for me, right? But you still decide to get up and convince yourself that I am great, that I am great, that I am consistent, right? Until you actually condition your mind to believe that that is actually the case. And then what eventually happens is that your actions should begin to follow. I say should because, of course, for every single person, there's conditions. There's conditions that you must follow in order for you to get the desired result that you're after. All right. So, in fact, if there is anything I want you guys to do, is to study. It's to study the classical conditioning theory. It's quite interesting because it gives you an understanding of the type of responses that we should have as traders and how we should disassociate ourselves with the lies that we hear on a regular basis within trading, or even the lies that we tell ourselves about trading that simply are not true. All right. And then we can condition ourselves in the right way to see, and not even just to see, but to get the results that we are actually after within the industry. On that note, the last thing I want to share with you is our event that's coming up very, very soon. You guys already know the TP Masterclass, the offline event. It is going to be a game changer. You guys, we hope every single person should not only just try to attend, but definitely share it with as many people as possible. Tell them that they need to be on this TP Masterclass. I've got something incredible prepared for every single person that will tune in. And I'm sure all of the hosts, the speakers will have the same thing prepared, something excellent for you guys to most importantly, to have a transformed mind. All right. So with that being said, guys, I love you all, and I will see you next time on the TP Masterclass. God bless you guys. See you.
It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading. It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading. It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading.
Right. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, just drop some number ones in the chat for me. You guys can hear me, right? Okay, good. So, I think last week we didn't have the masterclass, and we got some couple of few messages about everybody saying that they want to basically know why. You know, it was for a few reasons, personal reasons. Number one, it was a personal retreat for myself as well. It was great time for me, and I believe that I benefited from that retreat, and I believe you guys will also benefit from that as well. Currently, right now, we are going to. I want to make sure that you guys understand every single thing that we are doing here on this masterclass journey. This vision of this trading psychology masterclass was given to me 2 years ago, 2024, but I didn't, almost 2 years, so 2024. And I didn't do it in 2024, and it was dropped in my spirit again to start it. So we started it in 2025, January, and God has been good so far, with the testimonies people are getting. But you see, the truth of the matter is you can have many people who are hearing, they'll be hearing you, the things you are saying, but they may not be getting the results they need now. And I have explained this before, and I want to explain it again for you guys to understand that when it comes to psychology or anything regarding mental transformation, you have to put in the effort. You have to be able to make sure that you are putting in effort to be able to grow and to become the person you want to become. There is a lot of things that you can do, but there are a few things that if you do them consistently, they will contribute to your becoming as a human being. And so Trading Psychology Masterclass, even though the majority of the people are traders, the people that are coming on are human beings to me, not just traders, because trading is what you do. It's not all of you. I remember somebody asked me a question and said, Cliff, how can I be able to move from being a intraday trader or a scalper to become a swing trader? I understand what they were saying, but one of the answers I gave them was swing trading or scalping or intraday is not a personality. You may have a personality trait that can help you to engage in that strategy, but that is not who you are. I get questions a lot like, Cliff, so who are you? Are you a scalper? I said, no, I do scalping. No, I do intraday. I do swing, but I am not a swinger. I am not a scalper. I am not an intraday. It's not a personality identity mark. And what I was trying to let the individual understand, or what I do normally let people, because I get this question a lot. A lot of people have asked me this question. And what I do normally tell them is that you need to understand that the moment that you attach your whole entire identity to trading, it becomes something that can negatively affect you. You can have a trait to be able to do scalping. You can have the trait that makes you be a good scalper, meaning that a scalper is somebody who thinks critically faster, somebody who is very intuitive. They look at things in a microscopic way. A swing trader is somebody who can hold trade, or a position trader. It's not a personality thing. It's not an identity thing. You may have the trait. It's like basically saying, Cliff, Christmas is about to come. We are already entering December, and I want to give discounts to my customers. If you give a discount to your customers, doesn't mean now your shop has become a discount shop. No, you just only applied a strategy for the season that was needed for you to make sales. So if in case you have to hold a trade that can be able to make you $20,000 and it will take you 2-3 months and you can develop the patience to hold it, you are swinging, but it doesn't mean you have become a swing trader. Are you with me? If you are supposed to get into a trade and it made you good money in seconds because of maybe news or whatever, and you get out, does that mean you have become a scalper? No, you just only took advantage of the scalping moments the market gave you. I'm saying this for you guys to be able to understand that when it comes to trading, it's very important that you are able to understand that, I love the way Willis said what he said. He said your trading life and your actual life, they mirror each other. And I love the way he was talking about conditioning. And I love this segment a lot when it comes to the habit segment. I love that segment because when you understand what he's talking about, you will realize that your habits contribute to your decision making. And so you need to be able to understand that even though your trading life and your actual life, they are mirroring each other, it doesn't mean that it is a personality thing. It's a behavior, emotions, and actions thing. So what you do can be per season. What you do can be per minute. What you do can be an hour, depending on how it will help you for you to make the right decision. And so I just thought, let me address this whole, I'm a scalper, I'm an intraday. You can have a personality trait that makes you scalp. You can have a personality trait that makes you hold trades. You can have a personality trait that makes you to be able to perform well as an intraday trader. But don't attach your identity to those things like as if it is not this, then not that. You understand? It's a strategy. Scalping, intraday swing, positioning, they are strategies that we use to apply technical structures to the market. Are you with me? Okay. Before we go into today's masterclass, my segment, I want to share my screen and show you guys some couple of stuffs on the website. But before that, I hope you guys have been well. If you know somebody who needs to be on this masterclass, let them come, because today I truly believe God is going to do something for people today on this masterclass. I believe that a lot. We'll go into that soon. There was a topic I was supposed to teach. I promised you guys, but today I'm teaching it. So we'll see how it goes. I want to share my screen quickly and show you. We have added something to the website. And I want to show you guys, hopefully you guys will love it. We put in these efforts for a reason. So let me share my screen quickly and make sure you guys will love this website I'm about to share with you guys. Give me a second. Okay, so when you come to this website at this moment, I'm sure most of you have seen this website already. There is a part where it says work with Cliff. That is not a part. TP Masterclass, that's on the part. I'm talking about the Habit Hub. So we have added a new tab or a new page called the Habit Hub. This is where practical things are being uploaded. I already told you guys, and before I forget, remember I told you guys we were going to create some sort of a playlist. Well, this playlist is not on YouTube, but it's here. So let's say, for example, you just joined us and you are wondering, where do I watch the beginning of these videos? So we have some few playlists on the website here: self-awareness stage, self-regulation stage, and self-transformation. Now we will keep on always adding some of these videos to this playlist, but starting from here, we'll give you some information. Just so I just dropped in my mind, I didn't share with you guys now, but there it is. When you go to the TP Masterclass place, when you come to the TP Masterclass, you can see it here. When you scroll down, you can see the playlist here. Okay, let's go back to the Habit Hub. This Habit Hub, there are a few things that I've brought here. There are programs coming. These programs, I call them the simulation programs. Let's say if you want to access this program, you can go to access program. Of course, some people always say, Cliff, we want to contribute to what you are doing because you give a lot of things out for free. So we have put some donation thing here. If you don't want to pay, you can skip and access the program. It's up to you. But if you believe we are giving you some level of some value and you want to sow, people sometimes say, Cliff, the card is not working, give us USDT. So there is USDT on the platform now as well. You can also use it to sow into this mission and what we have going on here. It's up to you. If you don't have the money or you don't want to sow now, you can always skip and access the program. Now, if you go to skip and access the program, it will let you put your email. If you do put your email, it will give you an access code. This access code is what you will always use when you come to the program and say continue on program. You will always put your email and it will ask your access code. That access code will always be a one-time generated access code you will always use to access this program. Now, the program, for example, this one right now is 21 days program. You cannot be able to go to day 2 or day 3 without finishing day 1. All you have to do is to put in an effort to actually do these programs. It will tell you what to do. It's a 21-day transformation. I have a 90-day mastery program coming up, identity rewiring, intensive program coming up. Then when you scroll down to the Habit Hub page, you will see that I've added a couple of stuff here as well: breathing exercises, focus timer, mindset reframes, and journal prompts. Let's say if you go to the breathing exercises, Cliff, how do we do this breathing technique stuffs and what is even the purpose. So I said, hey, in order for you not to ask me any questions, I have all the answers here. Your breathing or your breath is the bridge between your mind and the body. So when you control your breathing, you directly influence your nervous system, shifting from stress, which is fight or flight, to calm, which is rest and digest. What it does best, when do you use it? Before important trade or decisions, after a losing streak, you need this. Okay, so my people that are trading gold, that this past few days, something hammered your trading account, you come here quickly and you use this for a reset. Okay, so there are different type of breathing that I've put here. I have the box breathing. Box breathing is 4, 4, 4. I have the 4-7-8 breathing technique and then coherent breathing. So you can see there are time here. You can do 3 minutes, 5 minutes. If you want to do 3 minutes, all you have to do right now is to go to start. It will tell you what to do. Okay.
Inhale.
So inhale.
Hold.
Then we are holding.
Exhale. Hold.
So just so you guys can see right now, we have been talking about breathing technique. We have been talking about breathing technique. As you can see, you can come here, set up a timer, and then you can use this. If you want to try the 4-7-8, the platform will direct you. Okay, so these are the few things that I have now for you guys. More is coming. Believe me, we want to make sure that we give you guys tools that will be able to help you a lot. So if this is an exciting news for you, at least if this will add up to some things that you want, you can always come to this place and use this in the morning. At least 3 minutes. You can start with 3 minutes every morning and 3 minutes every evening. It will really do a lot for you with your habits formation. Believe me. All right. With that all being said, before we go into the next announcement, if you guys are excited about this, drop some number ones in the chat. Let me know so that we can go to the next announcement. This announcement is for all those in GH. If you have registered already for the masterclass and you're in Ghana, I'm sure you have received an email from the team by now, and you have already been added to the WhatsApp channel specifically just for the event. After the whole entire masterclass, you know, the channel is going to be dissolved. So don't anybody ask me, Cliff, what channel. We don't have any official channel. This is only just for a moment for the next 13 days remaining. That is all that we're doing. So if you have not been added to the channel, please check your spam. If you are here and you have registered for the masterclass and you have not been added to any channel, check your spam. Maybe it's because, you know, the email fell there. But currently right now we have people in there. So make sure that you join quickly as soon as possible so that you can secure your spot. All right. Are you guys excited for today? If you're excited, just let me know. Yes. Good. All right then. All right, then good. So we're about to go into today's masterclass. I know that some of you are watching me from YouTube. Some of you are watching me from Instagram. Some of you are watching us from Facebook. Okay. Hi to you all. I hope you guys are doing well. In fact, before we go in, because we have not been able to meet last week, I want to do a quick hello to you all before we go into today's masterclass topic. Today, I'm going to teach something very powerful. So you need to make sure all distractions are all away. But let me know where you're tuning in from quickly. In the next 60 seconds, let me say hi to you. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me say hi to you. And then we'll just take it out from there. All right. Let's bring some people on the screen. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I think it's wise that we say thank you to them. You know, for me, I feel like when people give you your attention, even if it's 5 people, you need to be able to thank them very well, because nobody will leave what they are doing this Saturday evening. I'm sure some of you guys have not even eaten yet, or probably you are eating or cooking. I know the caliber of people that come on this masterclass. The kind of, some people are in India. It's very late, but they are here. Thank you. I really genuinely appreciate it. So let us know where people are tuning in from, and then we'll take it out from there. So we have Dubai in the house. What did I just say? Dubai in the house already. Uganda. We have Lagos in the house. We have Dubai in the house. For those streaming from YouTube, thank you so much. India is in the house. Cameroon is in the house. Nigeria in the house. UK in the house. Thank you so much. I really genuinely appreciate this a lot. So yes, we have India in the house. We have Uganda in the house. Perfect. Thank you so much. Lagos, Nigeria in the house. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Ghana in the house. Netherlands in the house. So thank you so much, guys. Really being here. Really Gambia in the house. This is a global call. Thank you for being here. All right. Today I'm teaching on a very important topic for today. I title it The Addicted Trader. The Addicted Trader. I really battled with the topic for today a lot because I was thinking what should be the title for this. But before we go into today's title and break it down as usual as we do, I want you guys to listen to me carefully now. Every human being is where they are today because of a series of decisions. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I appreciate where you're tuning in from. So every human being, you are where you are today because of series of decisions that you make or you are making, about your life. That is why you are where you are. It is not because, life is fair or it's not fair. It's a series of decision making. It doesn't matter whatever they are trying to do, whether a trader or whatever. You are where you are because of what you decide to do, where you decide to do it, and how you decide to do it. So if anything that is able to hijack your decision-making pattern has already defeated you in advance. When I say your decision-making pattern, I've taught this here before, that decision-making goes through 4 components. Is that true? Your perception, your emotions, your logic, and then at the end of the day, your willpower. These are the 4 things, that decision making can be based on and say the person have decided. So you need to understand that if anything hijacks your decision, that means that thing has hijacked your destiny. Are you with me? Anything that hijacks your decisions, that thing has hijacked your destiny. Now, these hijackers, they are forces. They are emotional, psychological, environmental, and then spiritual. Anytime that I use the word spiritual here, you need to understand that I've said this before, that when we talk about spirit, I'm not talking about witches, warlocks, and all these things that we believe. And it is true, they exist, but there is a place for those things. There is a place for those conversations, But when I say spirits, I'm talking about things you can't see, but you can't deny their existence. One of the simple way I always explain spiritual understanding to people is that you look at me right now. When I speak, you hear me. When I say something, you hear me. When I do something like this, you see me. You are seeing me and hearing me, not because you are near me. Some of you are as far as Netherlands. Some of you are as far as Gambia, Dubai, India, far away from me. But you are still able to hear me, not because you are close to me, but because of a spiritual structure called the internet. Do you understand? So if right now I'm speaking and you can't hear me anymore, you won't say, oh, my computer is just broken. No, you will say what is wrong with Cliff's network or my network, which is your network or my network. The reason why you are saying that is because you are going straight to the things that can cause the problem of not hearing me. And you can't see it, but you can't deny its existence. The internet is not around doing boom, 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 but you can't deny its existence. It is available. So there are spiritual realities. And so when we talk about the hijackers, they are not just only emotional, they are not only just psychological, they are not only environmental, it's not only physical, they are also spiritual as well. And the purpose of these hijackers is to influence your decisions without asking for permission. Okay? How do they show up? They show up as thoughts, they show up as impulses, they show up as reactions. That is how these hijackers show up. So these hijackers, you need to be able to understand the purpose of these hijackers. What I'm about to mention is not the reason why it happens the way it happens. It is a byproduct of that. So whether you are going to be delayed in your progress, whether it's going to sabotage your discipline, whether it's going to confuse your focus, whether ultimately it's going to keep you in cycles you were meant to break, at the end of the day, that is not the point. The point is, these are hijackers. They always influence people's decision making. And remember what I said, if your decision is being hijacked, your destiny automatically in advance is hijacked. Let's list some couple of these hijackers of the human mind. Number 1, I wrote down here confusion. You see, you constantly, as a human being, you are going to find less progress if you are perpetually in a confused state. So you constantly doubt, you constantly overthink, you constantly feel mentally foggy. When you are always confused, it will make you passive, hesitant, or easily manipulated. Easily manipulated. That is why ignorance is not a good behavior. There is a saying that if you think to buy knowledge is expensive, try ignorance. But number 1, the first hijacker I will call out is confusion. The second hijacker is manipulation. Manipulation is when environment, platforms, or people shape your values and actions without you realizing it. The goal of manipulation is not about getting you to do something you don't want to do. The goal of manipulation is to get you to do what you don't want to do without you realizing it. I'm going to say it again. The goal of manipulation is not only to get you to do something you don't want to do. The goal of manipulation is to get you to do something you don't want to do without you realizing it. Because if you realize what is happening to you, it's no more manipulation. It means you willingly did what you were not supposed to do. But when you don't realize it, it means you were manipulated. It doesn't matter. Ignorance, being naive, you were just manipulated. Does that make sense? The third hijacker is ignorance. If you don't know how your mind and emotions work, your default mode will always be survival, not mastery. So in that case, you don't know why you do what you do. You are just ignorantly moving in life. That is also very dangerous. It's another hijacker. To me, the fourth hijacker I wrote down here, spiritual bondage. Some patterns go beyond trauma or bad habits. There are certain things that people do. Have you ever realized somebody saying, I don't know what came upon me? Well, that means something hijacked this individual without them even realizing it. It's a spiritual entity. Again, if I say spirituality now, you need to understand what I'm saying. Things that you couldn't see, you couldn't hear, you couldn't touch, but you couldn't deny their existence by how it influenced you. Okay? Then the last one is addiction. Addiction is also a hijacker. Now, this is the strongest hijacker, in my own opinion, is addiction. It doesn't just influence you, it rewires you. That is why, to me, addiction is very powerful. Because watch this. If you are being manipulated, you were not rewired. You were only used for a moment. If you are confused, it's not like it's rewiring you. Confusion is a state of a person in a moment where they don't know what to do. Ignorance is a choice of you deciding to not know something rather than to chasing for knowledge. Spiritual bondage is not a mental rewiring. It's an enforcement of something having authority over you. Addiction is one of the hijackers, if not one of the most powerful ones to me, that not only have power over you, but it rewires, it does something to your mind. Now, when I was meditating on this, there was something that I was just thinking about. I was like, you see, these hijackers that happens to men is so powerful that when you pick the one confusion, confused people constantly search for answers. Is that true? It's not that they didn't get the answer in the first place. They got it, but they just choose to be confused. It's like they will rather stick with being confused than to stick with the answer they have gotten and run with it. So confused people, they are always consistently looking for answers, strategies, and quick clarity. So how the world gains from this, whether coaching or courses. So right now, let's say you are somebody that you don't know anything about you. Imagine you say you want to study psychology. And you come to this masterclass and you are confused about this, and I've decided not to give you the right information, but only to extort from you. All I'm doing is, okay, you have to do this and pay me. You have to do this and pay me. All I have to do to you is to feed on your confusion. That's it. And you will pay me a lot of money, right? I mean, if I'm able to confuse you more and then let you know this is the answer. And this is one of the reasons why, when we started this vision, there are many things that God has not allowed us to charge yet, because we live in an industry and in a community where, you have to be careful about how you charge people. For me, I always tell people when they come to me for personal mentorship, I say, listen, I'm giving the equal same value you will even get if you are close with me. However, if you want personal mentorship, then it's going to cost you time, because I cannot keep on calling every morning and say, hey, how are you doing, without you committing to a fee. No, I will not waste my time like that. However, it doesn't mean you will not benefit from the masterclass, from free consultations. Believe me, if you are here and you have been on any of our consultations for free before, you will know we pour out value. We pour out value without you giving a dime. So you need to understand that if you are a confused person who is always wondering what you should do with your life, what is going to happen to you, that you're going to be feeding coaches and courses, because you are going to keep on sticking with the confusion of buying the courses without finishing any. Then marketing industry always feed on your confusion as well. Confusion makes people vulnerable to exaggerated claims. The best strategy ever in the world. Oh, this mentor is a goat. This mentor can give you this strategy. Is because you don't understand how ignorant that sounds. there is, if you think you are a goat in this industry, the only thing that will feed on you is the big boys. Yes, if you are a goat, if you call yourself a goat, then you must be ready to be eaten by the market, because there is nothing like a goat. I love what Willis said. He said people sometimes think there is perfectionism in this industry. It's not true. No matter what happens, even the best of the best people that have come into this industry way before us, they will admit that this industry, it will teach everybody a lesson. So when I see people on Instagram, the goat, I'm like, no worries. It is either they are eating him for dinner, or he is eating his mentees for dinner. One way or the other, truly, somebody is a goat in that community. So that is why people come to me and say, Cliff, you are the best. I said, based on what is your basis? Do you call me the best? If you are saying I put in the effort, even if I am exhausted, then I appreciate you. But if it's about knowledge, there is ever learning. You are always going to be learning from whether your mistakes, whether your problems, whatever. So you need to understand that if somebody is making bold claims, it's a problem, but they will feed on your confusion. Financial services, people who don't understand money outsource. The system manipulation, product cycles, and what we call the election propagandas. They feed on manipulation. Why am I telling you this? So that you will understand that the reason why these hijackers keeps on growing is because the world is benefiting from these things. Why? Because when people lose control, when people lose clarity, or when people are not conscious of what is happening, someone somewhere is making money. Do you understand why I'm teaching you this? So you need to understand that because this is true, you need to be serious about not being ignorant. So manipulation also have its own industry. Ignorance have its own industry, whether it be in the financial market again, or the health industry, or the tech problems, platforms. They feed on ignorance. The more ignorant you are, the good for them, making more money. What about spiritual bondage? Again, I'm not going to go too far, but you need to be able to understand there are people now that will tell you, if they sell you a bottle of water, for some weird reason, they are saying that bottle of water, if you buy it, your whole entire destiny will change. No, that is not how the Holy Spirit operates. It's not true. Yes, a man of God can bless water and say drink by whatever faith you have, but that is not how God wants to help you. He's not going to help you by you going to spend all your money on buying someone's water. They are saying they have prayed on it. So spiritual bondage, that is how other religious people also place merchandises on it. And endless productivity and so on and so forth. Now, the last one where I'm going right now is addiction. Addiction is a $1 trillion industry across legal and illegal sectors. Do you hear what I just said? Addiction is a $1 trillion industry across legal and illegal sectors, whether it be in food, whether it be in tech, whether it be in prop firms and brokers. It doesn't matter. I'm saying this now boldly with my chest. Whether it be in adult content industry, watch this. A lot of money is being made from people being addicted. When you look at a pack of cigarettes, there is this bold claim that was always going around that they have said it on it that it can kill you, yet people still buy it. Why? Because if people start being educated on how to break free from that, then of course the cigarette companies will not be making money. That's true. So you need to understand that these hijackers, there are a lot of them that we have mentioned now. They all feed industry. So the system is not broken. The system is doing exactly how it's supposed to be. It's designed to be doing what exactly it's doing. So you need to understand right now that if this is true, then why is it that it is like this? Because as I said, the more confused you are, the more manipulated you are, the more ignorant you are, the more addicted and spiritually bondage you are, the more some people feed on that behavior you have. So why am I talking about this now, and why this topic today? My topic today, as I said, is called the addicted trader. Today we are going to pick up one of the hijackers called addiction, and we're going to look at it very well, but you need to watch me now. You need to be able to understand that a reward system is involved every single time a behavior is difficult to break. I want you to watch this and watch this clearly. You see, my whole life, one of the things that I have personally been a victim of, or I allowed myself to be a victim of, is addiction. You may have heard my story before, and you probably read it in my book. I was addicted to adult content at a very young age. And there are levels. When I was meditating on this topic today, there are levels of addictions. There are addictions that only affect your behavior. There are ones that affect you emotionally. There are ones that affect you, your behavior in every single way of how impossible it will make you be. But there is a level of addiction that can travel into your spiritual side of things for you to experience strongholds. Addiction is very strong. There are many people watching me right now. Without me sounding like a prophet, I can tell you boldly that there are things you are not proud of. You see, every single time, Cliff, how do you know addiction has reached a stage of stronghold? Is when you embark or you engage in the behavior, and when you are done, you feel guilty, you want to cry, you regret, you're like, I shouldn't have done this, I don't want to do this. It means that addiction now has migrated from it just being addiction to a serious stronghold, which is making you to become very compulsive. So every single person that is watching me right now, even though I'm about to talk about something that is related to trading, but I'm going to teach it in a way that it doesn't matter what you are addicted to. In your personal life, in your actual life, if you are struggling with any addiction, today my goal is to bring, number one, clarity to why this happens. Number two is to let you know that there is an understanding that I have right now spiritually, that anything that somebody is able to break out of, there is a grace, there is a spiritual understanding that that person can be able to help you to deliver yourself from. You know, I was meditating on a little bit of my story. I was really addicted to adult content. I remember I could watch bad content, adult content, from Monday to Sunday, sometimes twice a day. Very, very bad. I'm being vulnerable so that you understand that what we're about to talk about today, there is something that addiction does to your mind psychologically. Today you will understand. Maybe some of you are saying, finally, I'm about to hear something today that will give me deliverance. It is true, you will get it. I remember very well that at the age of 14 years, I will never forget, I saw my first adult content. And I don't know what happened to me. You see, the way addiction is formed is a very funny way. You don't realize it's being formed because it's a hijacker. You know, if you have watched any movies that involves people hijacking a plane, I used to love those movies a lot until I started traveling myself alone, a lot. I was like, as being a traveler and me loving this kind of movies, it won't be funny at all. But anyways, what I'm trying to basically say that when you watch these movies of an individual or a group of people hijacking a plane, they do it in a way that you don't know they are there first. The goal is to find themselves in the plane first. Then when they find themselves in the plane, they now can take over. They don't take over while entering. They find themselves just like everybody else. So these things, the addiction as a hijacker does not just enter you as an addiction. It enters as a relief system. Are you with me? So at the age of 14 years, here I am, confused about my identity as a child, because the way I grew up, and you guys will read all of this in my book so you understand how that behavior was formed in my old identity. You will get to realize that it comes in a very subtle way. It's like, you are bored. So that is why I watched, you saw it. You were curious. Curiosity, even though it kills a cat, but that is not a problem in the beginning, right? You are curious. As a human being, you need to be curious to be able to understand certain things. But that same curiosity that started, and you said, oh, how do they even do this thing? Right? How do they even shoot the movie? When it comes to adult content, there is no amount of justification that will end you well. Let's say, for example, if you say, I want to see how they edit the video. Even if you're a video editor, chief, there is no amount of skill set in that movie, in that content that will teach you how to edit videos. So stay away. So you can't tell yourself, well, you know what, if I watch this, I just want to learn how they position the camera angle. Go and watch other things. If you watch that, you will end up learning different angles. Are you with me? You need to be able to understand this. So there is no level of curiosity that will be able to help you to become a good video editor. I'm trying to basically say that the curiosity that came into your mind, there was nothing wrong with curiosity. But because that was not the purpose of that content, Remember, it's a hijacker. It will enter your mind as a curiosity, desire. It has an agenda. The agenda is to get you hooked in a way that it becomes your relief system. We are coming there. We are coming there. So you need to be able to understand that addiction doesn't start as an addiction. It starts. That is why I underline the word hijackers. Underline the word hijack, because people don't understand what it means when we use certain English. Hijack means that this person is truly with you. This thing is truly with you. It may have started as a curiosity. Some people can even tell themselves, I want to learn how to, I want to have sex education. That is how they may start it. Chief, that is not how you learn. You understand? So even though education is not bad, but that is not how you learn that thing you are trying to learn. So from education, it now enters into the real goal of the hijacker, which is addiction. Are you with me? So, first things first, why am I teaching you this in this season that you are in? And why should you pay attention to this masterclass? Don't worry, stay. For the first few minutes, you are going to be very uncomfortable because I'm going to be hammering on some things that you'll be like, Cliff, it's true. But don't worry. You have come to a masterclass. The goal is to target your mind, rewire it right now on the core. You know how McDonald's, when you go to McDonald's, they will quickly just give you your burger. That is what this is. Quickly, I'm structuring something in your mind right now, hot for you right now. So don't worry, it may pinch you a little bit, but stay. Stay, your deliverance is coming. So why did I start telling you my story? I was meditating on this, and one day, in order for an addiction to be formed, it forms in a very interesting way. I will tell you my story more when we get to some parts of the conversation. Just stay with me. I will tell you more of my story using this as a part of this and how I got delivered. And you will get to understand that part of the deliverance, there is a spiritual structure and a spiritual strength needed. You need a strong man who can bind that strong behavior. We will come there. But first, let's start from the psychological aspects. Okay? Neuroscientific definition of addiction. Addiction is not what, or in other words, it's not just doing something too much. Addiction is what happens when your brain gets hijacked and then you get used to it. Can you write it? Addiction, I'm giving you my own definition now. Addiction is what happens when your brain gets hijacked. And that after it has hijacked you, you get used to it. So I'm going to explain this a little bit more. Imagine there are hijackers. They enter a plane. And when they enter the plane, unfortunately, they met a pilot who is going through a series of financial problems. So the hijackers have studied everything about the pilot. So they know the pilot is really broke now. So they pitch a business idea to the pilot and say, pilot, listen, we know what you are going through. We know. And because of XYZ that you're going through, listen, we want to take the plane from going to California to this place. We know. But if you are able to help us, or if you're able to do this and cooperate with us, we'll give you this X amount of money. If they are able to convince and override the mindset of the pilot to the point where he partners up with the hijackers, that means that the pilot has gotten used to that moment. And unfortunately, they have been hijacked. That is what addiction is. As I told you, it comes into your brain as a normal thing. But then when it now starts to oppress your brain and start rewiring it, the moment you get used to it, you have been addicted. It's when your system begins to crave something repeatedly, even when it's hurting your progress, even when it's damaging your peace, or even when it's costing your relationship. So now I've given you the blueprint of the definition. Now let's define it here. Please write it down. Addiction, I wrote down here, is when the brain prioritizes short-term relief over long-term results. Addiction is when the brain prioritizes short-term relief over long-term results until the behavior becomes automatic. Addiction is when the brain prioritizes short-term relief over long-term results until the behavior becomes automatic. I'm going to give you one more time and we are done. Addiction is when the brain prioritizes short-term relief over long-term results until the behavior becomes automatic. Watch this. I want you to underline the word relief. 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 The word relief is where we'll build everything on. Because you will understand when we get to the part of how addictions, what addiction does to the brain, you will understand why I told you to underline the word relief. But at the point whereby you are getting addicted, it's not about pleasure anymore, it's about survival. You see, the brain is always consistently learning. Whatever you do to your brain consistently becomes your behavior, and your behavior becomes your identity. Your identity shapes your whole entire destiny as a whole. So relief is the key word. Now, let us discuss first how addiction is formed. You see, before we talk about this, I told you, keep my story in your mind. Here is a young boy, very young, who have seen his first adult content at the age of 14 years. I taught you guys this few weeks ago about human psychological needs. During the age between 5 all the way to 12 and 12 all the way to 25 years, let's pick the 12 to 25 years. That moment, a child is looking for safety. A child is looking for security, whether being emotional or whatever, it doesn't matter. So during that stage is where most addictions are formed. So during the stage where you are looking for security or something to fulfill some sort of boredom or whatever one another you're going through, your brain, I told you this before, it will look for anything possible to make sure that you are able to survive in that range at that moment, whether out of boredom or whatever the situation may be. Are you with me? So during that age, here comes me seeing my first adult content. Now, you can call it a coincidence, but how I saw it, I will not embarrass the individual that through them I saw this, but how I saw it was interesting. How my eye was able to see that thing for the first time and how it was able to navigate in a way. I remember, I will never forget, I used to have one friend who was a little bit, he was not older than me, but he was a little bit older in hustling. Even though we're all young, I was older than him, but he was a hustler. He knew how to get anything he wanted. And I remember during those days, it was very, 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 very old. So majority of the way you used to watch things, normally it wouldn't be, internet. It was a cassette, a big cassette, the one you put pen and you rewind it. If you are here and you don't know what I'm talking about, then you are very young, but it's all good. So you put pen in there and you rewind. That is how you rewind to take it back to the beginning. So I remember I used to have this friend. I don't know how he used to get these tips, but anytime he would charge you something small, and I remember very well clearly that he will go and get these things for me, and he will put it in a small bag, and he will come and stand near me and say, "Tick, tick, tick." And I just remember very well that, as funny as that may look, I was like, look at how this guy used to smuggle this tip and bring it to me because I am craving for it. And the only way to watch it is you have to wait for everybody to leave the house, right? Before you can go and put it in a cassette, because that time you cannot tell if there will be speed to change it or not, right? Back then the TV that you use, it had the back, they call it a back head. That is a TV. Those TVs, sometimes you can press it and it won't go off faster. So if they are coming to catch you, then you are almost in trouble. They might catch you, or you want to take the tape out and it is stuck, right? And it's not going out. Anything can happen those days. There was nothing, possible for you of catching you. So you have to be careful. Everybody has gone away. There is a reason why I'm sharing this. So because that was the building of the foundation of this addiction, I grew up with it. This addiction took a very long time before Jesus delivered me, but we'll come there later. Now, one thing I realized, that there was always a trigger, and there was always an action, and there was always a reward, and then repeated. The trigger mostly was when I was alone. The moment everyone leaves me, that moment I'm like, you know what I want. The moment you would start getting flashbacks, go watch it. So that's the trigger. The trigger was loneliness, boredom, being alone. Bam, that was the trigger. What are we discussing now? How addiction is formed. So I'm picking the part where I experienced to be able to use to explain this. Don't worry, when we get to the addicted trader part where I'm breaking it down for how trading is, you will really understand too as well. Just stay with me. So the trigger is something that activates a sense of the discomfort. It can be boredom, it can be rejection, it can be fear, it can be pressure, loss, heartbroken. There are people, the moment they get disappointed, there are people right now, the moment you hit an unnecessary stop loss, this is your relief. Whether an alcohol, porn, whatever, adult content, that is your relief. It's an addiction. The moment you hit an unnecessary stop loss, that's what it's going to be. You're going to understand why this topic is very important. Because if you cannot defeat an addiction in your life, believe me, you are not going as far as you think in destiny. Because part of the ways that shows that without addiction in your life, you can become somebody is because you have mastered self-control. Self-control is a powerful skill, part of a human success becoming. Are you with me? So, trigger is the first thing that happens. It can be boredom, rejection, fear, pressure, loss. It doesn't matter. The moment the trigger happens, it takes you to the action. The action is that you're going to do something to escape the feeling. It could be taking a revenge trade. It could be opening a social media. It could be eating something you didn't plan for. It could be calling someone toxic just to not feel alone. It could be you going to watch these content. It could be you taking some substances. But whatever it is, that is your action. So one of the ways that I realized that when God delivered me was a very beautiful testimony I was meditating on. Did you know the same way the addiction came in is the same way the addiction left? I remember one time, every single time, every person is out of the house, the first thing I think about is, oh, I just want to go into the sofa and just watch this. I want it to be on the TV, big TV, so that I can see everything big. Does that make sense? So that was my trigger, just that desire alone. And then I remember very well that when Jesus delivered me, when God delivered me from this issue, and we will come there, even when you are delivered by grace, there is still a participatory role from your side for you to be free from addiction. That is where we're going with this. But you will get all of the components today from this masterclass. You will not leave this masterclass the same way again. Wherever you are right now, if you are truly somebody listening to me and you'll be very honest, and you are tired. You are like, Cliff, this thing you are talking about, I am tired. There are times I'm like, why did I even do this? I want you to declare to yourself wherever you are that you will not leave this masterclass the same way again. It's like, you know, you are not supposed to revenge trade. You know you are not supposed to overtrade. But some part of you just somehow, it's like you find yourself picking up your phone, not because you found the setup, not because you found the situation corrected. It's just that something in your mind just wants a relief. Tell yourself wherever you are right now that I'm not leaving this masterclass the same way again. Just be angry in your spirit. Before we declare, media, can you bring the music down a little bit? Well, I'll let you bring it up again. We'll declare before we go on. It's important we declare, but listen to me carefully now. Do you know why I'm teaching you this today? Because the current state and moment we are in this life now, you don't need these distractions, chief. Some people are too broke to be addicted to porn. You don't need it now. You are too broke to be addicted to revenge trading. You are too broke to be addicted to over trading. So when I say declare to yourself that you are not leaving this stream the same way again, not just to make sure that you did what Cliff said. I want you to be angry in your spirit. Enough is enough. Believe me, back in the days, I would do this act. And right after I am done, you will see that tears is coming out of my eyes. There was a day I will never forget. I was watching adult content and I was engaging myself in delayed gratification. Gratification to myself. You know what I mean by that? By doing things to satisfy yourself. And while I was doing it, I was crying. Tears was coming out of me. When people look at me and say, Cliff, why is it that you always advocate the power of God and you are always talking about psychology? Because, Chief, you don't understand what we have been through in terms of our mindset. The things we had to break away from because we thought it was not possible. My God, if you understand, if now you understand what I am saying, and if you can relate even in a minute, now I want you to declare to yourself. Let's bring the music back again so that they will understand this. I want it to sink into their mindset. That I want you to declare to yourself wherever you are right now that you are not leaving this masterclass the same way again. You are not leaving this masterclass the same way again. You may have been addicted for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It doesn't matter whatever it is. Drugs, substance, adult content, in a bad behavior that even reflects in your trading. It doesn't matter how many years. It doesn't matter how many years. It doesn't matter how many years. This information you're about to hear will transform your mind to a state that you will now say, man, now I understand. Now I can separate myself of this behavior, declare to yourself that you are not living this masterclass the same way again. I want you to be angry in your spirit, because I'm angry for you. Even if you're not angry, I am angry for you, because I know what this kind of addiction did to me. Declare to yourself. I want us to bring the music down now. Now watch this. There is something that my mentor always says. What is about to happen to you is light is coming to you. Light is coming to you. Listen, my mentor always used to say something, that if you have 2 rooms and these 2 rooms is experiencing light, these 2 rooms has not experienced light for 5 years. If this room, you have 2 rooms and none of them has experienced light for 5 years, if you come back to any of the room and you click on switching off the light, it will not take 5 years before the light will show up in the room. It's instant. That is what is about to happen to some of you guys right now. I know what I am saying. You're not talking to somebody who is assuming addiction. I know what addiction is. If you know the names of the characters in an adult content industry more than I did, then congratulations, you win. You win. But if you have not gotten there yet, then it's not that bad. If I can be able to stand here today and say today, let me tell you, before we go into the trigger, action, and a reward well, so that you understand this, let me tell you something. One day, I was lying down, I was like, wow, the same way I couldn't wait for people to leave the house so that I can go and watch these stuffs, is the same way I couldn't wait for people to leave me alone so that I can worship God. That was the day I knew, my God, this is a testimony. I was like, what? So the same way I used to engage in this bad behavior is the same way now I'm engaging in a behavior I believe is truly important and very positive. That was when I realized the same way addiction comes is the same way it leaves. I'm about to sow a seed in your mind that will let every part of your body, your mind, and soul hate this behavior. It doesn't matter whatever it is, trading, visuals, whatever, substances, you will hate it. You will understand today. It's not your fault. You are not bad. You are just wired. So how is addiction formed? It's formed in a loop. Today, when I was listening to Willis teach, I was like, people will think we actually collaborate and talk about our topics before we teach. I've given everybody the liberty to teach what the Spirit leads them to teach. And so at the end of the day, when he was teaching, I was laughing. I was like, he's talking about the conditioned mind. Very powerful. And I hope you guys caught that. Addiction is formed in a loop. Trigger, action, reward, and repetition. The trigger, I've told you now, it can be boredom, rejection, fear, pressure, loss, heartbreak. It doesn't matter. The action can be you doing whatever that you normally do. The dangerous part is the rewarding system. When you get the relief, it can be you picking up your phone. There was a day, I was there was a stage in my life when I started building a brand and every single thing. I was addicted to mobile phones a lot. I can pick up my phone and there is no notification, but even though there is no notification, I want to open the notification or open the WhatsApp and check notification, even though there was no notification. This is no more a good behavior. It's an addiction. So it just grows. So that's why you go on Instagram, but you say, oh, I'm going to check something for 5 minutes and you end up being there for 2 hours. It's an addiction. Because now you have gotten used to it because there is a relief. There is a dopamine there. So the reward, which is the relief part, and you repeating it over and over again, eventually becomes a habit. And when your habit is being modified for it to become something you get used to, it now becomes an addiction. Now, the reason why it becomes an addiction is because when you are addicted to a behavior that is negative, it's eventually destroying your life. So we don't need it in our lives. Does that make sense? Now, what addiction does to the brain? Let's look at that. There are 2 parts. Now, I'm talking about the psychological thing. We're talking about neuroscientific reasons here now. What addiction does to the brain? There are 2 parts of the brain that are deeply affected by addiction. Please write it down. Number 1, two parts of your brain. 2 parts of your brain. The dopamine part of your brain is called the reward system. The part of your brain that is responsible for relief. You see, as a human being, getting relief is good. Not being stressed is good. Being joyful is good. There is nothing wrong about those rewarding systems. Remember the airplane analogy. There is nothing wrong with flying the plane. The only thing we don't want is the hijackers flying the plane, because as far as we know by intelligence, they can land it anywhere. If it's in the hands of the pilot, it's good. But you see, the pilot can have his hands on flying the plane, but if the mindset of the hijackers is telling him what to do, it is still the same as the hands of the hijackers hand on the plane flying it. Are you with me? So you need to be able to understand when we talk about the things you're about to hear now, which is the reward system. It doesn't mean that it's not good to have a reward system. It's good. It is what makes you motivated. It's what makes you inspired. It's what makes you keep on going. The only issue is when you are addicted to any form of a substance or a content or whatever, the issue is that the rewarding system has been overturned to seek for a different kind of relief. Are you with me? It has been overturned. It has been rewired. It's being rewired for you to seek for a different kind of relief. That is the only issue. It has become pleasure-seeking part. It's no more about getting rewarded because of something you have done. You didn't go out. You didn't talk to a woman. You didn't pay a bride price. You didn't take the woman to a date. You didn't open the door. So what are you getting reward for? Chief, why are you rewarding yourself? What did you do? So this is the part of the rewarding system we don't want. That you are getting pleasure for something you didn't do anything. So the reward system is being hijacked first, and it gives you now, sharp rewarding system. This is the same thing that happens to a trader when they are like, you know what, I don't know, how to be able to, I don't know, I want to take signals. It's good to take signals if you are starting to know if this is good for. I'm not going to condemn signal provision. It's up to you. But you need to know that you are never going to become rich by taking signals. That is the truth. But then what it will do to you is much more dangerous to me than even the signal itself. What it's going to do to you is going to make you seek for now gratification of trading. So you are always consistently, sometimes you can open your MT5, even though there are no trades in there. You just want to click it and see the charts. And when your eye see gold will invite you. It's a law. When your eyes see gold charts, the chart will invite you, especially if you have no self-control. So are you with me now? So the reward system. So there are a lot of things that comes together to make sure the agenda is pushed, to make you want more signals, to make you want more things. It's not your fault. You have been hijacked. Reward system. It is the first part, the dopamine loop, chasing dopamine every day, picking up the phone, checking on. Suppose I'm not saying, for me, I am addicted to my chat. I know. No wonder your resource is where it is. I know you are addicted to the chat. It's clear. It's not sexy. It's not good news. There's nothing interesting about a sentence you just made. Being addicted to the chat doesn't mean you are a serious trader. Yes, that is not what it means. So when I hear things like that, I get sad first for them before I even give them advice. So dopamine loop, big problem. You are going to consistently keep on chasing that dopamine. Addiction will hijack it and train it to look for short-term pleasure. So addiction is a trainer. It can train your brain to look for something it's not supposed to look for in that way. Now, number two, what is the second part of the brain where addiction hijacks the part of the brain? So watch this. I want to keep on using the pilot scenario and the plane to let you make sense. Have you ever realized that part of the plane is big? Sometimes the way that the hijackers behave in the plane is that they will hijack the air hostess, the people that serve the food, chicken or beef, sir. Those people, beautiful, amazing air hostess. Imagine if you were taking a flight and they were not in. What would you do? Anyways, so the hijackers will first of all hijack those people first. But even though they have hijacked those people, they have not entirely hijacked the plane. The only way to hijack a plane is to hijack the pilot. If the pilot is safe in their cabin, they are safe. The plane is still safe. So first of all, I want you to see the reward system as the air hostess. And I want you to see your prefrontal cortex. I call that the control center, the pilot space. See that as the place where the hijackers wants to go. That is the part where they want to go first. I mean, that is their final destination. Because if they can hijack a pilot, they have hijacked the plane, because the pilot is the brain to the plane. And if, let's say, that there was one that I was watching recently, that one of the air hostess was dating the pilot. All they had to do was to do a research, hijack the woman, show the woman's face with a gun, the pilot opened the door. That's it. Men will always fall because of love. I'm kidding. Anyway, the prefrontal cortex is one of the places where the hijacking also happens. Are you with me? Good. Now let's break them down. So the rewarding system, the goal is to make you keep on chasing dopamine when addiction hijacks that. The prefrontal cortex, which is your control center, is a part of your brain that makes you think logically, that makes you make the right decision. If that part of the brain, it's not that addiction hijacks it necessarily and makes it overwritten. Addiction makes sure that it hijacks the dopamine system and it weakens your prefrontal cortex. You see, your prefrontal cortex, the way it is that it either gets weak or it is not weak. I'll explain. If right now, let's say this is fire. If this fire burns you for the first time, logically, why would you take your hand to go and touch this fire again? Logically, it doesn't make sense, right? So experience makes you to become wise instantly. So whether in trading or whatever, when you keep on focusing on dopamine, what happens to your prefrontal cortex is that it makes you to become a little bit disconnected from being logical. Are you with me? It makes you disconnected from being logical. That is the first thing that you need to be able to understand. So it is not necessarily overwriting your prefrontal cortex, it's weakening your prefrontal cortex. Remember, I was telling you guys about emotions, that when your amygdala sound the alarm of danger, whether in the market or whatever, what it does is that it weakens your prefrontal cortex not to be logical. So these are the two areas in your mind or in your brain that addiction hijacks: your rewarding system and then your prefrontal cortex. So expecting an addicted person to just stop is like asking someone with a broken leg to run. Did you hear what I just said? Asking an addicted person to just stop being addicted is like telling somebody who has no legs, run. They can't, chief. They are weak now. They don't have any strong muscles to be able to have that sort of run. Are you with me? It's very important that you understand this. So that is why healing addiction is not just about willpower. It's about creating a system that rewires the brain. And that is where we are about to go from here. I wanted to, before we go into the second section of this, I wanted to take time for you to understand what we are talking about here. We are not just talking about a behavior. We are talking about a behavior that has been trained over a period of time. That some of you listening to me right now, you hate why you do certain things you do, but for some weird reason, you can't stop yourself from doing it. The question is, why? Why? Before we started, I told you there are dimensions of addictions. I told you that there are different types of addictions in different levels. There is one that just by you hearing what I'm telling you will deliver you. There is one that you will need information plus a system to deliver you. There are some that you will need counseling and actually really talking to somebody about it sincerely to deliver you. But there are some that you will need the power of God to deliver you. Now, the good news is all these 4 packages is on this masterclass. The knowledge, the system and the structures, somebody to talk to, you go to the website, you book a consult with me. The 4th one, which is the grace dimension, we have come with it. I can assure you that, believe me. I know many people I've talked to and I've prayed with, and I'm telling you, you see, when God delivers you from something, he doesn't just leave with a testimony. No, he doesn't just leave you with a testimony. He leaves you with the grace to produce the testimony. I'm going to say what I just said. You didn't understand. When God delivers you from a behavior or anything in this world and it brings you testimony, God doesn't just leave you with the testimony. he also leaves you with a grace that makes you reproduce that testimony for someone else. So, but before this masterclass will end, if you don't believe it, is fine. When I'm done with the practical and the psychological aspect, you can run away and go deal with it with your intuition. But if you believe that this community is more than a physical community and there is a spiritual backing, stay and you will get your deliverance today. I can assure you that as a trader. It doesn't matter whatever you're struggling with. Okay, good. The addicted trader. Now, let's talk about the trader specifically now. I know some of you are here, you are traders, you are not traders. Some of you are entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter. Listen. A trader becomes addicted when trading is no longer a calculated system. That was the first thing I wrote down. A trader becomes addicted when trading is no longer a calculated system. That means when trading becomes an emotional coping mechanism, that means something is happening to your trading. There are people who come to you and tell me, Cliff, for me, I love trading. I don't think I will ever stop trading. I hear you because you're not trading yet. If the day you will sit down and use your brain to actually trade by applying proper structures, thinking, stopping a loss, waiting, going in, coming out, waiting, staying away. If you do that for 1 week, you will know how boring trading can be. Many people sometimes say to me, I love the way trading. I know, because for now, it's not trading yet. When you start doing your job as a trader, you will love the idea of what it is, but you cannot tell me you don't get exhausted by the decision making, because it takes serious decision making to be a correct portfolio manager. It's not a joke. So when a person is no longer using calculated systems and they are using trading as an emotional coping mechanism, it's no more trading. A problem is being formed. When, let's say, people sometimes say, the market has closed. I don't even know why. I can't wait for Monday to open. You see, the reason why the person is saying they can't wait for Mondays to open is because they have no plans to sit down on the weekend and check what they did on the Monday to Friday versus what they did right and wrong, and to journal their emotions, to study the pattern. They have no business doing that. So to them, Saturday coming is an interruption to their relief system. So they can't wait at all. If you were trading, you'd be like, oh my God, even Monday, Saturday, and Sunday is not enough for me to finish doing a check-in of my accounting of what I did from Monday, because you are not trading, chief. You are not trading. I know I said it before that in this masterclass, I'm going to say certain things that some of them will pinch, will sting, but stay and listen. Are you with me? So right now, it's like you need to be able to understand that in order for you to become the person you need to become, you need to understand what I'm teaching you as a trader. If you are addicted in any way, I'm giving you some of the symptoms. You get so sad when the weekends is near. So sad when you can't trigger any trade again. That is not a good behavior. It means check what you are doing. But as far as it is trading that you are saying you are doing, then you should be happy because the weekend is here and you can quickly just align things and get back into Monday again. Are you with me? Number two, you get emotional relief, whether wins or losses. The way you get the relief, you get happy. Like you don't know where the joy comes from, but it comes from nowhere. It hits you from the bottom of your heart. Joy overload when it goes well. If it doesn't go well, break down, but in a way you are glad at least you took the trade. Up and down. You chase dopamine spike after a loss. This is where the revenge trading also is. To distract from something else. Maybe let's say you are bored. You pick up your trading account. Let's say you are angry. You pick up your trading account. You know how people sometimes when they are angry, they go to stand in the boxing ring and they punch the boxing for you. It's trading for you. And you're asking me, Cliff, I don't know why I keep on blowing my account. Because the account is no more a business for you. It's a punching bag. So when maybe your wife or somebody hurt you or your fiance breaks your heart, the first thing you do is you pick it up and you say, let me even see if I can get some lot size and put it into this support and resistance area. You see, so trading now has moved from being a business to your punching bag. So, and you will find out if you study the patterns well, the day that you were exercising those behaviors costed you a lot. What are we talking about? The addicted trader. So I'm going to give you a couple of few things still, because I'm giving you signs for you to understand who an addicted trader is. You are trading after you hitting stop loss multiple times. The purpose of it is to just get even. This time around, you know, revenge trading and overtrading is a byproduct of a hijacking behavior. It's a byproduct of a hijacking behavior. So you trade after you are hitting stop losses multiple times over and over again. The goal is to get even. The goal is to get even. You are feeling anxious if you haven't placed a trade in hours. You will see that you are like, even today I have not traded. Like as if there's something you need to do, like brushing your teeth. No, that is not how it works. So when you are feeling anxious, if you have not placed a trade in hours, check yourself. If you are always increasing lot sizes or breaking rules when you are emotional, check yourself. When you are needing trading to feel alive, even if it's destroying your capital, check yourself. At this point, you are not trading a strategy, you are trading an addiction. And the charts are not controlling you. Your brain needs a relief for that. That is what it is. Check yourself. Are you with me now? Check yourself. Because remember, the same way I gave you the meaning of how addiction is formed, it forms like that in trading too. You come into trading as a person. The purpose maybe why you started is because you need money, or maybe you don't need money. It's up to you. But you started, and then the reason why maybe you started was because of whatever the reason may be. The action is for you to put in the trades. The reward is just by triggering a trade. It's not losses, it's not wins that you're looking for. Even though if you lose money, you'll be angry, but the reason why you triggered that execution wasn't because you wanted to make money. You just wanted to trigger. So you check yourself. Are you guys with me? Very important. So now if you understand how addiction is formed, it doesn't matter whatever it is. The trigger, the action, the reward, then repeat over and over again. Eventually the habit becomes a behavior. Behavior becomes an identity. Now when it reaches identity, it's now a stronghold. Oh, this is who I am. For me, this is what I like. To the point where there are people right now, they have accepted they are just adult content addicts. That if they get married, they are like, my wife needs to also accept that. It has now become part of who they are. Are you with me? That is wrong. You need to be able to understand that at no point in your life, at no point in your life should you get to a point where you call an addiction an identity. At no point. Now, let's talk about how to break an addiction. Now, I want you guys to follow me now. This is the part where we are going with this. There are 4 stages or 4 steps you can take to break an addiction. 4 steps. 4 steps. Now, these 4 steps I'm about to give you, it doesn't matter whether you are a trader. It doesn't matter whether you are an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter whether you are just somebody who loves this masterclass and you use it to grow yourself. Because there are people who follow this masterclass and they are not traders. They just love the information that this masterclass is bringing to them. Are you with me? So number 1, steps to break the addiction. Number 1 is awareness. There are some topics, there are no motivations in there. You need to be able to listen, receive it, and let it change you. Number 1 is awareness. You must learn how to recognize that something has hijacked your decisions. So everything I was doing in the beginning, when I was telling you the different types of the industries that profit from hijacking things. Remember, I was telling you that there are several things that hijacks, or there are several hijackers in this industry. So I started explaining little by little. I said there is confusion. What I was doing was I was giving you several information that will make you become aware. When I got to the addiction part, I told you addiction, the industries that are connected to addiction is $1 trillion industry. Because right now, when you look at things like, confusion, emotional state of being, if right now, let's say someone like any prop firm company wants to sell to you, they are going to feed on the hijackers. That is already in you. They know that you are addicted to discounts. They know that you are addicted to quick make money now. And even though there are people who are able to make withdrawals from props, I know some of them are my mentees. I know that they have been able to achieve some withdrawal. It doesn't mean that some people are not going to be victims. I will explain something to you. There is a powerful book that I'm reading by David Goggins. Probably you have read it before. It's called You Can't Hurt Me. In part of the book, there is a philosopher that says something. He said that if you take 100 people and they go to a war, 100 people, they go to war to fight, 100 people. 10% out of the 100, which is 10 people, they were never supposed to be at the war front. Never. They were never supposed to be there because they in advance, they were going to die. 80% of the remaining 90% from the 80 people from the remaining 90, they were the targets. That means for them, they were supposed to be there to be the target, to make sure that there is a fill up. Now it's remaining 10 people, right? 9 is the fighters. They are the fighters. The 9 people remaining, they will fight, they will bleed, they will get up, they will throw punch, they will get hit. Some of them will die, some of them will keep on fighting. 9 are fighters. Only 1 is a warrior. Same thing when you bring it into trading. If you pick up 100 people who said, I want to try this trading thing, 10 of them were not supposed to be there. Someone's uncle, someone's grandmother, someone's father. One time I saw somebody teaching, an elderly person how to be able to become successful with trading. And I was just looking at the video, and I was sad because I'm like, even though it's possible some elderly people can trade, but the defect of people not realizing what they are doing to people by telling them everybody can trade really breaks my heart. To me, I believe everybody should understand the financial market, but I don't believe everyone can be a trader the way the world is projecting it. It's not true. It's not true. It's like saying I want to play football, but I have no legs. You want to play with Cristiano Ronaldo then, but you have no legs. It's impossible. If you have no legs, there is another special way. So that's why I said you can benefit from the financial market, but to become a trader who critically thinks, always having the time, sometimes you need to be honest with people. Some people don't have the time. They have kids, they have jobs, they have so many things, and people are convincing them, leave your job and become a trader. How can you be that wicked? If this person leaves their job right now and trading is all that they have, they are in trouble because now you are going to be broke. You will not have no money to trade. How can you be emotionally stable? So when you pick up 100 people in the financial market, 10 were not supposed to be in there. 10 were supposed to not be near trading. 80 is the liquidity. It doesn't matter how powerful your ICT mentor is, you are still the liquidity based by the way your mindset is programmed. Eventually, you can. I was telling you guys this thing before, that you can have 2 people talking, and one person can say, maybe let's say, tell me what happened, tell me the truth. That person telling you to tell them the truth, they think they can handle the truth until you tell them. There you will know they get angry, they get irritated, and you are like, but you told me to tell the truth. Oh, but go away. I didn't know this was the extent to the truth. Exactly. So there are people, no matter how you teach them, that this is where liquidity lies. This is called manipulation. This is where, this is a premium discount zone. Don't do this, wait for the equilibrium, wait for a poop. You can tell them every single thing, show them other flow. They are still the liquidity. Exactly. When the spike happens, the market will still induce them. So 80 people, they are the liquidity. In fact, the market needs those people to make sure the market moves. Now, remaining the 10, 9 is going to fight. They will blow an account, they will come again. 1 month, they will make more money. 2nd month, they will lose something. 3rd month, they will make money. Fighters. They blow an account, they come again. They borrow, they grow it, they give it back to the person. They blow both the person's money and their own money. They are in debt, they fight, they come back. 9, and the 1%, that is the warrior. That one, very patient. He waits for the signals. He waits for the confluences to match up. And he loads it. Then he waits again. He waits while everybody is making noise. He's waiting. He's waiting. While everybody is saying the market condition is bad, he's waiting. He strike again. Warrior. You will never see him everywhere. He will not go on social media making noise. I am the goat, ready to eat people, whatever it is. He's not talking. Very quiet. You even think he doesn't even have a bicycle? Quiet. But a warrior. 1%. So you need to be able to understand what you are learning. If you don't understand what I'm teaching you here, you will think this is just normal things you're about to break. No, but I'm making you become aware. Aware to the extent that Cliff is saying that addiction is not who I am, but addiction can hijack who I am. Yes. Addiction is not what you do. Addiction is how you are being hijacked to do what you don't want to do. So now, as a person, Addiction is not your relief system. It's how you are being hijacked to desire a different kind of relief. But it's not who you are. It's what is controlling who you are supposed to not be. So it is a rewiring. And I told you it hijacks two parts of your brain. The most powerful part of your brain also, which is the dopamine part, the part of your brain that makes you chase things, pleasure seeking. Then your prefrontal cortex, the part that makes you stop or become logical. When that place becomes weak, you are in trouble. You can't be logical anymore. So even though you know you're supposed to wait, you will pick up your phone and say, I think that gold is going to buy. Not necessarily because you have seen something. It's because there is a relief system in you building up, building up, building up, building up. So the way you enter into the industry really matters. Stay away from people who are always saying that for me, I am always going to take every trade that I see. It's not true. Only take the one that aligns with your edge. Because it doesn't matter. Remember what I told you, that addiction doesn't enter your life. Addiction. There are many people right now, they are addicted to trading, but it is because of some circumstances and some money they have. They don't need money as fast as the broke trader. So watch this. There are people right now, they are addicted too, but because they don't need money like the broke trader, it doesn't show in their lifestyle as a trader, but they are addicted. And the person that is broke and addicted, it will show easily because you need the money now. And also at the same time, that is all that you have. You are bored, you pick up your phone. So it's not just because of that. And there are people that they don't need the money, but they just can't stop and control themselves. There are different levels, as I told you. So the first stage is awareness. Cliff, awareness again? Yes. You have heard me say this. When it comes to psychology, the first stage of any transformation regarding psychological structures is awareness. You must recognize that something has hijacked your decisions. You are not weak. You are just wired in the wrong way. That's it. So what do? We expose the loop you have been stuck in. So right now, first homework. Right after this masterclass, when you get the time this weekend, you sit down. What are some of the things that I'm doing right now that I know that I'm not supposed to do? If it's in trading, write it down. If it's in watching things you're not supposed to watch, write it down. If it's in substance, write it down. Write it down. Are you with me? It's good. Write it down. Now, after step number one, after you have become aware that you are actually addicted to something, the next thing is understanding. The next thing is understanding. You need to learn how your mind is functioning, because the first thing you got to ask yourself, what is triggering me? Because during the days that I was coming out of that behavior I didn't like, there was a trigger. That is why I was able to tell you guys the trigger today, because I had an understanding. The trigger was me being alone. Number one, the trigger was when I was stressed and angry. Those were my triggers. When I was bored, those were my triggers. So if those were my triggers, that means I need to make sure while I'm trying to overwrite that behavior, I need to try at least in the next 60 days to not find myself being alone. Because you see, one thing about addiction, especially with this kind of addiction that, unfortunately, many people are going through right now when it comes to the adult content. There are days when you are alone. Let's say you are about to be addicted to something, or you are addicted to something, about to engage in it. The moment you're about to start, somebody somehow will come and knock on the door and come and sit beside your bed and say, oh, how are you doing? How are you doing? Is everything okay? That moment, you will do everything in your power to get the person out of the room. You will lie. You will pretend you are sick. Because that moment, there is a relief that needs to come into you. I'm saying this to say this. People sometimes say, okay, for me, I will control my addiction by downloading an app that will hold me accountable. Chief, you will delete the app, break your rules, download it again, because now you have come back to your senses. When the addiction comes again, you will delete the app and do it again and come back again. That is how it will repeat itself, because you have not sat down to identify the trigger. Are you with me? Number one, awareness. Number two, understanding. You need to understand what is triggering you. What's the real motivation behind why it makes you do the things you do? And if you are a trader, what is your real motivation behind you trading? Oh, Cliff, when you talk to traders, they give you the best answers. I'm just trading because I just really want to basically just learn a skill. Okay, good for you. Then why then are you on my consultation call? Because you just go to learn a skill. Are you with me? So when you talk to them, they're like, oh, I just want to learn. If it was only just a skill, then you are learning it. Congratulations. This is how you learn the skill by making mistakes and learning again. So you are succeeding then. But it's not that. There is something. So you need to be able to understand what is your real motivation behind why you are learning trading. Don't lie. Be honest. What is the real motivation behind having these kind of relationships? What is the real motivation behind you having these kind of people in your life? What is the real motivation behind why you pick up the things you pick up to do them? What is the real motivation? What is the trigger? Understanding. So you become aware. The second step is to understand. You see, when it comes to understanding your psychology, as a person, you studying your mindset, your emotion, your behavior, nobody can do this thing for you. I've told you this several times. You have to pick up a book and you need to write down the things that you are learning about yourself. I told you this before, and I said that this current state and situation we are in life now, you can't afford not to be serious with your life. You don't need these kind of distractions now, ladies and gentlemen. Are you with me? So number one, awareness. Number two, understanding. Sit down and write down the things you know is happening to you to understand them. Third stage, rebuilding. This is where we need to start creating rewiring, creating new routines, designing new environment to support your new identity. So imagine if I'm trying to break out of any addiction that is unhealthy, if I'm trying to break out of overtrading behavior, and all my friends, they are always cracking jokes about how they overtraded today. You can't break that habit. Oh, what, bro? Did you see the gotcha? Man, I was just triggering the trades. Boom, 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 boom. Now, if this is your friend as a trader, then eventually you will never be able to break the revenge trading mark. Does that make sense? You need to be able to understand the concept of that. So you need to realize that environment shapes or contribute to your rewiring. The things you watch. If you want to basically break, let's say, adult content, then you need to stop watching movies that is 18 plus even. Yes, I know, but Cliff, is normal. It's not normal. It will trigger it and it will go back again and watch the main thing. So you need to start creating new routines and new behaviors. Even a movie that is 18 plus, you have to stop watching it. You have to be intentional about it. You cannot just assume you will be fine. You won't be fine. How many times have you told yourself, I would not do this thing again? And you did it again and again and again. Why? Because you have to rewire. You have to renew. You have to change your patterns, change your routines, change your environment. How do you change your environment without not being able to live there physically? You change your environment without you living there physically by creating core values. If you have friends that constantly keep on sending you things, to let you know this is the things to watch, or mute them. When they send it to you, tell them you don't want this anymore. You were embarking on a journey. This is the part where you have to be intentional. If you are in a Telegram channel that can send 15 signals a day, delete it, pray for the mentor, pray for the people who are still in the group, and then make sure that you intercede for them with your church members to deliver all of them from that Telegram channel, because eventually they will all blow their accounts. 15 trades a day, you will blow their account. Eventually everybody will not survive. So that is the same way you need to be able to understand when you are renewing your mind. You cannot be able to transform yourself from being an addicted individual, and while you still keeping the same habits, still keeping the same friends, still keeping the same behavior routines, and expect something to change for you. Even if they pray for you, nothing will change. I remember when I was being prayed for, when I was introduced to Jesus for the first time, I thought, oh, hey, everything is going to be fine. It's not going to be fine. The triggers will come again. Sometimes the trigger will come by a movie you are watching. For me, for my problem I had, sometimes the trigger will come just by conversations you hear. Sometimes while you are busy praying in the spirit, that is where something will flash your eye and you are wondering if you are bad or if your eye is now the tip. You don't know what it is, but something has flashed. So you need to be able to understand that, things are not going to be easy, even when they pray for you, even when they intercede for you, even if you are a believer, even if you believe in spiritual help. Does that make sense? You need to be able to understand that there is a participatory role. Your willpower still needs to be added, because it's a decision making. To watch the thing, to do the thing, to not do it, to go away, to not go away, to revenge trade, to not revenge trade, to overtrade, to not overtrade. It's a decision making portal. So your perception, your emotions, your logic, and your will Are you guys with me? It's very important that you understand this. So awareness, step number 1. Step number 2 is understanding, revelation. Number 3 is rebuilding the mind. Because remember, the way it entered by rebuilding. So you need to let it leave by rebuilding. It's like, imagine if people have been hijacking aircraft. You don't pray the aircraft will not be hijacked again. We need to create security system to prevent the hijack. So the rebuilding of your mind is in a way creating another defensive system to fight against those old behaviors. So how do you do that? So let's say somebody is addicted to revenge trading or over trading. How do you rebuild that? Very simple. There is a reason why somebody revenge trade. I was having a conversation with an individual, I think a few days ago, and I'm hoping he's even following this masterclass. So he came on a consultation with me. An amazing man. He's so humble, an elderly man a little bit. I presume, I think I heard his age clearly. Very humble, listening to me and every single thing. And while we're talking, I was able to help him to understand that, when it comes to revenge trading, there are levels. There are people who will revenge trade because of what happened to them in a day. There are people who will revenge trade because of what happened to them in a year. There are people who will revenge trade because of what have happened to them in a lifetime. What do I mean? I will explain. For this individual, it was because he has lost almost all his savings, not all, but a portion of his savings trading. That savings that he lost was an accumulation of 5 years of making money. So imagine this. If no matter how you are psychologically good, this thing will anger you. How can you save money for 5 years and lose it in trading and not expect to revenge trade? Are you with me? So that type of revenge trade is justifiable. It's valid. But I'm talking about the perpetual revenge trading. Because revenge trade does not mean you are bad. Revenge trade simply means you want your money back. So with this person, I'm not going to tell him, why are you trying to revenge trade? No, I understand why he wants to revenge trade, because the market cannot take 5 years of savings money in couple of few years or couple of few months. That is not fair. But I need to let him understand what has happened to you is normal. If you decide to chase it, you will lose more. So let us accept the fact that the money that you were supposed to trade it was supposed to be money you were willing to lose. It's gone. It's fine. However, where do we start from? By the grace of God, God helped us. We're able to come to a very powerful conclusion to help him to be able to navigate his journey from there. Are you with me? But that is another dimension of revenge trade, whereby you want to get back what the market have taken from you from a lifetime. Then there are people, they are just addicted to revenge trading. The moment they lose something, they want to get it back at that moment, in a day, in a minute, in an hour, in few hours, in a week. They just want to keep on getting it back. That is not a revenge trade, but it's also a revenge trade. So you need to be able to understand that when we talk about revenge trade, it can be in different dimensions. I don't know what is costing yours. Maybe you have lost money you were not supposed to lose. Maybe you borrowed money to trade for somebody and you have lost it cheap. Just go and tell the person the truth. That, listen, past performance starts this way. Say, listen, you because you are a trader, right? You are a portfolio manager. He is an investor. Wear suits, okay? And then speaks to the person. Listen, past performance. There is a saying in the industry that I am in. I am in this industry, financial market, and there is a saying that past performance does not guarantee future ones. In this industry, you need endurance, you need maturation, right? You need to be able to be strong. So what I am saying is something has happened to your money. Yes, something has happened to your money. It has really happened to it. And what has happened to your money is very, 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 it's very happening. It's happening. So you explain to the investor, you let them understand what has happened to their money so that they can free you early. If you don't tell them the truth and you want to be a wonder boy to get their money back quickly for them, you will end up losing their money, losing yours, losing your families, losing your friends, losing your neighborhood's money. Before you can realize, every single thing will start being destroyed. Are you with me? It is very important that you understand. This goes to all those as well who is also involved in gambling, in the bets area. They cannot stop anymore. Right now, there is a chaotic momentum of betting addiction going on. I didn't want to talk about that because it's a very sensitive conversation, so I left that for a reason. Are you with me? So if you are here and your revenge trade and over trading is coming from because the money is not yours and you have lost somebody's money, go and tell them quickly. Because if you don't tell them, you will now lose more money and bring more problems to yourself. Go and tell them. Dress like a portfolio man. They may slap you, they may threaten you, they may threaten you with anything can happen, but it's better you tell the truth than to create more problems for yourself. Are you with me? Good. So revenge trading can start in that dimension. So I'm trying to basically let you understand that there are some revenge trading that can be delivered by just hearing this truth. There is some that you have been addicted to revenge trading because of what it has done for you. Cliff, what do you mean? There are some revenge trading that right now exist in your trading because it gave you money. It gave you money when you started. It gave you money before when you were practicing those bad behavior. So after 6 months, 4 months, you have been doing that and surviving. So now your brain, the dopamine part, the reward system has associated that part of trading to making money. So what do you think was going to happen? You will always consistently being addicted to that. So the step number 3 is about rebuilding. After you have become aware of what the habit is or the behavior or the addiction problem is, after you have understood why it keeps on repeating itself. And number 3 is about rebuilding, creating systems for mindset renewal, being able to understand, listen, I am addicted to this. There was a prayer point that I heard, spiritually speaking, and we're going to step number 4, receiving the grace of deliverance. There are people right now that their habits of whatever they are addicted to has become so deep that it has become a stronghold. Those people, even if they become aware, they will still do it. In fact, they can be reading the awareness and still doing what they're not supposed to be doing. So if it's a substance, they can be reading, okay, Cliff Cheqona said, you should know this, how this thing works. Okay, well, not bad. They are smoking on top on top of the awareness. So that one is a stronghold. It's no more them again. They have the addiction here, or if it's alcohol, whatever it is, if it's they have already set up the adult content on the laptop while listening to this. As soon as they are done, they are going to watch. That is a stronghold. Are you with me now? That is now a stronghold. It's no more about me telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. We are come there later. But I want you guys to understand this. The reason why being honest to yourself is very important, to yourself, to God, to pray, is because of this. I heard a story that transformed my mind when I was going through this problem. There was a man, he was addicted to there are 2 stories I'm going to share to you right now. The first one was 2 kids, 2 children, and they came out of their family through an alcoholic father. And the alcoholic father brought up these kids. So these children saw their father being alcoholic. And they all grew up. They are around 30-something years thereabout. And they had an interview. Both of them still met after a couple of years, many years later. And they were interviewing them and they asked them, so your story is very interesting. You guys are brothers, siblings? They said yes. And they asked the successful businessman, the successful one, that why is it that, what motivated you to become a successful businessman? And he says, because of my father. And they asked the other one as well, that what made you become a successful a drunkard as well? And your life is just so poor. You are looking very wretched. What happened to you? He also said, because of my father. I'm saying this for you guys to understand something, that where you come from shouldn't determine how you end up. Where you are coming from shouldn't determine where you should end up. You can choose today to be free from the things hijacking your decision making. Whether it being ignorance, whether it being confusion, whether it being addiction, it doesn't matter. You can choose. You can choose today to be able to be free from this. You can wake up today and say, you know what? Cliff has challenged me today. I need self-control. I know this thing is worrying me a lot. Revenge trading still worrying me. Over trading still worrying me. Picking up my phone. There are days I just pick up my phone, go to the chat, or pick up my laptop, check the chat for no reason, even though I have made money and I'm done. That is one story I wanted to share with you. The second one is personal, which is me. I heard a man talking about how he got delivered from alcoholic. He said that at the end of the day, he went to God and said, God, I love alcohol. I love alcohol. In fact, tomorrow I can't wait to drink it. I can even imagine the one that is chilled, very, very cold one. I want to drink it. If you don't help me tonight, God, I'm going to drink it again. Now, what I'm about to say may be very funny and awkward, but it's the truth. When I heard this prayer, I told myself, oh my God, let me apply the same thing to my addiction. So I went to God. True story. I went to God and I said, God, I love this thing. If you don't help me, I'll watch it again. In fact, I love the ones that are like this. I was explaining to God the type of, because I knew what I wanted to watch. I know the type of things I wanted to see. I was telling God, God, I like it in this shape. I like it. I was telling God the truth. And I said, if you don't help me, I will watch it again. Guys, stage number 4 is what I call the grace dimension. This is the last step. That if your addiction has become so bad that you are crying, still battling with it, you are complaining that you don't want to do it again, still, that moment, it is not just this masterclass. This masterclass is going to be helping you after you have the enabling grace has come upon you. But first, you need to understand that there is a dimension of life. You know, I've told you guys this before, that there are levels of realities. We have the perceived reality, experience reality, we have the objective reality, and we have spiritual reality. The fact that you don't believe in the law of gravity does not mean if you jump from a 50th story building, you won't go down. Life does not care. The fact that if you don't believe that I have internet or not, it doesn't matter. If I speak and I have internet, you will hear me. So there is a spiritual component of every single thing. You may not see their physical state, but you can't deny their existence. That means things that makes you do things you don't want to do. That moment now, it has shifted from logical reasoning to spiritual strongholds. Ladies and gentlemen, today, masterclass, I didn't come in a normal capacity. I came with anger. I came in a way for you to be able to understand. When I say spiritual things, what do I want to do right now to your spirit? I want you and I to be able to be ready to declare that we are about to declare something. I'm about to show you the power of words. That there is a way, if you have understood everything I was talking to you today, revenge trading will not go because you are thinking. Revenge trading should go. You have heard me say this before. We don't beat a thought by thinking. You beat a thought by talking. If you don't talk back to it, it will still be stubborn. When you name something, it loses its power. So in the next couple of few minutes, we are going to be declaring. We are going to bring up some music up on the voice front, but I want you to hear me clearly. If you don't believe in this dimension part of the declaration, it's up to you. But I'm telling you what you are supposed to do now. The people, I'm not talking to everybody, I'm talking to those who are tired. They're like, this cannot be me anymore. Something needs to change in me. I told myself I will not do it again. I did it again. I want them to be able to hear me clearly. So can we bring the volume down a little bit so that they can hear the sound and still hear me clearly? I want you guys to understand this, that we are about to do some serious declarations of our destiny. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, life is too serious. Life is too serious right now for us to be still battling with addictions. Most of you would have made most of your money and kept most of them if revenge trading was not part of your trading. Most of you would have still kept some of your money if over trading was not part of your trading. Most of you, it's not even revenge trading, it's not even over trading. It is the addiction part of things you're not supposed to do and take into your body that is costing you money in the financial market. Believe me, I have a lot of people I consult on a weekly basis. I know what I'm talking to you about. So right now, wherever you are, if you are angry in your spirit and you know you want to go to the next level, I want you to declare to yourself wherever you are that addiction, wherever you are, make sure you know them by name. Don't be shy. Even if people are around, don't worry. They will hear you saying that you love this. Let them judge you now and be free tomorrow. Declare to yourself, call the addiction by name and say, you addiction, You have no stronghold over me anymore. Say it, mention the name, make sure your brain knows you know the addiction. Mention the addiction by name. Tell yourself, revenge trade, mention it. Because some of you are here right now, you are losing your family's money. It's no more funny. That mentor will not give you the money back. So even though he's telling you, take the trade now, if you have taken 2 and you have 50 stop losses, cancel that subscription now until you are free and you can control yourself. Don't sacrifice your family's finances because you think something will change tomorrow just because you are doing it again. So wherever you are, mention the addiction by name. Don't leave this masterclass the same way again. Mention the addiction by name. Mention it and say, you so and so addiction, you have no stronghold over me. Mention the addiction by name. There are some cycles that won't break just by logic. Mention the addiction by name. You need to break it by the grace of God. You need to break it by truth, and you need to break it by spiritual power. I don't care about anybody who say nonsense. There are people that sometimes will come to the masterclass and say, Cliff, why are we talking about trading, adding God? Chief, who should I add? When you go to Dubai Mall, even though a lot of people working there, not everybody is a Muslim. But when it is 12 on the dot, you will hear the prayer. Whether you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, Dubai Mall doesn't care. You have come onto this masterclass. This masterclass has a mandate. And if I want to bring people, we'll come back. I want you to understand something. There is some anger in my spirit right now. Some of you guys, bring the music down for me, please. Watch this. Listen to me carefully now. Watch this. Listen to me carefully. I'm about to give you guys a revelation that will let you pray the prayer you're about to pray seriously now. I was talking to some people. Watch me. I'm almost done, but I want you to listen to this carefully because this masterclass is very important. If you leave this masterclass the same way again, I have wasted your time. Believe me. I'm telling you something. If I didn't have the results and if I didn't have the things that I do now, then you shouldn't listen to me. But listen to me carefully now. I was talking to somebody and I said, watch this. There is something called deficiency when you go to medicine. Deficiency. Deficiency is when you lack certain things. The only way we can be able to tell somebody is deficient in an area is because the results is clear. Either the person has kwashiorkor, either the person's fingers is different, either your tongue, the different colors of your tongue even shows deficiency. Your eyes, so many different things can let us know you are deficient in this area. So that means as a human being, if you want to look well and every single thing, you need to be able to have what we call balanced diets. But you see, when it comes to nutrients, not all of them are in the same level. Are you with me? When it comes to nutrients, not all of them are in the same level. They are all nutrients, but they are not in the same level. You have carbohydrates, you have vitamins, you have proteins. They are all nutrients. When you eat them all in the right portion, you will get what we call balanced diets. But you see, we as men, it doesn't matter whether you believe what I'm telling you or not. I'm not trying to impose a belief system on you. This is my belief system. Just like how I explained Dubai to you. They don't care whether you believe in the prayer they are praying or not. As long as you are in Dubai Mall, as long as you have come to Habibi land, the prayer will sound. If you want, stop buying the things you are buying, nobody cares. You have come to this masterclass. In order for you to be able to get the results you are desiring, you need to understand what I'm telling you now. I'm very angry in my spirit because some people leave this masterclass a different person. There are different type of nutrients. So I was talking to this individual and I said, watch this. Not every nutrients are in the same capacity. So if you come to me and you tell me, Cliff, I need your help to become transformed, I need to give you a balanced diet. But when it comes to the balanced diet, since not all nutrients are in the same level, I need to give you more quantity of the main nutrients. As a human being, your life, the way, freedom, the main nutrients is Jesus. If you have more of me and less of Jesus, your life will still be free. Unapologetically, I'm telling you now. Now, number one, if he is the main nutrients, I even used to believe in this. Believe me, one day I will tell you guys my story about why I am unapologetic about the name of Jesus. I have been in certain dimensions of decisions in my life that was very dark. And I know what I've seen. I've seen light and I've seen darkness. And I'm telling you, light is good. So Jesus is the main nutrients. Unapologetically, I'm telling you today. Now, you see, he is the main nutrients, but I play a part in your food. But what am I? The Bible says I am a salt. You see, when you put salt in food, more of it will destroy the food, but less of it you can still eat. I am just a salt in your transformation process. not all the meal. So what we are about to do right now, remember, our mandate is to transform minds, raising kingdom aligned leaders through spiritual, psychological, and practical truth. This dimension is all the tripartite formation of what brings you transformation. I've given you the awareness part that will give you the practical truth. I've given you the psychological information that when it comes to addiction, it affects two areas of your brain: your dopamine area, the reward system, and your prefrontal cortex, your control center. Now I've given you all of that, but I'm telling you another dimension. If you don't have, you won't still be free. It's called the grace part. Now I want you to declare yourself one more time that there is no way this stronghold will have a stronghold on you. Now I want us to bring the music back on time again. Now I want you to listen to me carefully now. Watch this. Let's go down small for me. Now watch this, ladies and gentlemen. This declaration that you are making, I want you to just go down and let be a little bit volume, because I want them to hear my voice and listen to me carefully now. The reason why we are playing the sound is not so that you can hear music. It's because something must happen to your mind. Because the same way you saw the first thing, the same way you took the first drug, somebody introduced you to their belief system. I'm introducing you to one today. That there is a dimension of mindset you need to have. Now, wherever that you are right now, whoever that you are, whether you believe in what I'm about to do is up to you. If you think you have received the information, the practical ones, and you don't need what I'm about to do, you can feel free and leave this masterclass. But I want somebody to get a wholesome transformation. Now, wherever you are right now, I want you to place your hand on your chest. Place your hand on your chest. Father God, Jehovah, in the mighty name of Jesus, the Bible says, because we are sons, he has sent forth the spirit of his son into our heart, crying out, Abba, Father. Therefore, we are no longer sons, but we are no longer slaves but sons. And if sons, then we are an heir of God through Christ. I declare and I decree, Father, the same way you were able to deliver me from the addiction of adult content, I use it as a point of contact for any spreading area of hijackers, especially in the area of any addiction. And as Father, anyone under the sound of my voice who believes that Cheqona is able to cause transformation because you are within, Father, may that individual receive their deliverance in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. That no weapons fashioned against your mindset, your decision making will prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment we condemn. It is your inheritance and your vindication is of the Lord. Father, we thank you for the deliverance that is coming into the people's mind, in their life, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Father, I pray from today henceforth that no one under the sound of my voice who believes in the formation of what is coming into their hearts right now will struggle, forcing themselves to break this addiction again. Father, in an easy mode, oh my God, Father, give them an easy mode. Give them an easy mode. That is an easy mode. They will be delivered in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Father, we thank you. The same grace that enabled me to stay away from this addiction, I use the same grace. Peter said, silver and gold we do not have, but such as we have, we give unto thee. Father, in the name of Jesus, such as I have, I know I have this grace, and I release it onto these airwaves. Anyone under the sound of my voice, as you are receiving this enabling grace forever today marks the last day you will struggle to stay away from these addictions in the mighty name of Jesus. And as you have heard the word, as you have heard the understanding, as you have heard the message, as you have heard the masterclass, together with this deliverance prayer, may God give you a big testimony, and you will not enter 2026 with this addiction in the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' matchless name that we have prayed. Amen. I want you to declare to yourself, I will not enter 2026 with this addiction. I will not enter 2026 with this addiction. I will not enter 2026 with this addiction. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. One of the things that I've just realized about life, it is very important that you always find an individual who will have a proper conversation with you in all ramifications. When it comes to becoming transformed, it's not a buffet of knowledge. You don't choose what you want to transform you. You have to subscribe to the full counsel of transformation. I know this is one of the things that when I started in the beginning, before many of you came onto these master classes, people will attack me. Why do you talk about trading and mention Jesus? I said, who should I mention? I am even alive today for you to learn from me because of him. So when I'm teaching you, I will teach you trading. I will teach you every single thing you need to know, but I will not exclude my Lord and personal Savior. Believe me, if you have received this teaching today, you will not only just get the awareness of what you were taught. Enabling grace has come upon you as well. and it will embark you, help you for you to fight this addiction. And I promise you, if you have been a loyal TP Masterclass member, you will not enter 2026 with this addiction in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Father, we thank you for what you have done in people's minds today. They will not know what has happened to them, but I know what has happened to them. It's little as any light. Even if the whole room is dark and you light up this touch in this phone, something will happen to the room. That is what has happened to you today. I have planted a seed in your mind. And just like how the first seed that was planted that made you become the person you are, I have planted another seed that is going to start overriding. Let me explain what this means. You know how when somebody wants to hijack a CPU, they plant something small on the big CPU. They plant it. It's small, but that small thing they plant can hijack the whole entire CPU. It can't function anymore. That is what has happened to you tonight. That just by this little information you have heard, something has been attached to your brain now. And from today henceforth, it will start helping you to override things by knowledge, by understanding, by routines, and now by grace. Ladies and gentlemen, God willing, next week, we are going to be having another masterclass again. And the following week, I think, is going to be live in Ghana. If you are in Ghana, make yourself your way quickly. If you have not seen the email yet, quickly go and check your spam. We have sent emails to all those who registered. Check it and now go and join the group that we have set up for you for easy communication. The masterclass in Ghana is going to be streamed also in on YouTube. It's going to be streamed on Facebook. It's going to be streamed on Instagram as well, and so on and so forth. So don't forget us as well. Okay. I hope you guys were blessed by this masterclass, because there are some dimensions of things that I have to be much more serious than just giving you abstract concept. There are things that has to go beyond an abstract concept. Believe me, many testimonies will come out of this masterclass you are hearing, because that moment has affected your mind. With that all being said, next week we are learning a very powerful topic. I call that NAPM. Next week's topic, I title it NAPM, New Age Portfolio Manager. Welcome to your new season. Next week, I'm teaching on the topic NAPM, New Age Portfolio Manager. You don't want to miss that masterclass. It's going to be very powerful. The goal is to position you for you to think like a portfolio manager using the new age resources and tools available for you with the right mindset. With that all being said, thank you so much for coming on this masterclass. God bless you all and have an amazing evening. I will see you guys, God willing, next week. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Why? Because trading is a mind game.
Trading is a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. 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 Trading is a mind game.